Woo! Good evening, my friends. Happy hump day. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Hope everyone's staying warm. It's been quite chilly. Uh um so cold that, as ashamed as I am to say it, I've used as an excuse to not go to the gym for the last 2 days. I don't like that. Um, but no matter what, I'm going tomorrow. That's happening. And yes, I started us off with a little live classic music there. Mr. Page Hamilton and the Mighty Helmet. Can never go wrong with those guys. One of my all-time favorite bands. And well, their earlier stuff. They released a few albums in the last, like, I don't know, 15 years, and I wasn't crazy about them, but their earlier stuff is stuff that I'm never ever gonna get tired of, I don't think. I absolutely adore it. Um yeah, Page Hamilton is um arguably one of the most talented musicians there is. People don't realize that. Page Hamilton went to like Juilliard. Uh he did like, yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that about him. A lot of people don't know that uh Billy Corrigan is actually like a musical like savant. Supposedly, according to him, he was tested as a child. Like, I don't think he ever went to any like real schooling for it. He just kind of picked up a guitar and kind of figured it out. But um Yeah, the helmet guy. Yeah, yeah. But I'm actually talking about Billy Corrigan, the Smashing Pumpkins guy. Excuse me. But yeah, Billy Corrigan from Smashing Pumpkins is also like supposedly a musical savant. Um, he took a test when he was in school, and they made him like when he was like in elementary school, and then like he scored closest to like a perfect score, and they thought that he cheated, so they made him take the test again with like different questions, and he passed, like got like an even better score or something. uh and Yeah, it's when you listen, like if you know your shit at least to some degree. Like, I know my shit to some degree, not really, but to some degree. uh like he like if you listen to like, I remember listening to what was it, Siamese Dream, right? I think that was their second studio release. um Smashing Pumpkins. And thank you, Michelle O'Hara, for becoming a member. And also to Ohio Peach, thank you guys. um and I'm not the biggest Smashing Pumpkins fan, but the album Siamese Dream, I think, is just a work of art. It's amazing. I remember where I was when I first heard it. It came out at just the right time when music, the standard for rock and roll, was changing, following the release of Nevermind from Nirvana, Pearl Jam 10, Alice in Chains, Facelift and Dirt, just all of that. And if I've been listening, I've rediscovered Siamese Dream, because like I remember when I was a kid, when I was like maybe, I guess, 16, I guess I was, when that album came out. Um and a friend of mine had like, a really nice Sony Walkman CD player with the really good Sony earphones, and those earphones were like, they were the kind that went over your head like these do, but they went inside your ear, kind of like earbuds. They were like the first of their kind, and they sounded amazing, at least at the time they did. I'm sure if you use those in comparison, compared them to, if you use those today in comparison to the sound that like beats give you, probably wouldn't even compare. But Clever, you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. Good boy. I love you, buddy. So the I'm telling you, like I when I first heard that album, um the the guitar sound was something I had never heard anything like ever. Um if you take, what's the song that I'm thinking of? Let me look it up here. Um the song Rocket. If you listen to that song, the guitar sound in that song, nothing, I've never heard anything like it. And nothing has matched it since, but I became addicted to that warm guitar sound. And I it kind of paved the way for like a standard of what I want to hear when I hear heavy rock music. Um and like that song Rocket, the guitar sound in that song is, I mean, I'm telling you, if you could emulate, if you could emulate like a Clever off, get down. If you could emulate like the feeling of a warm, welcoming vagina with a guitar sound, it would be the sound in Rocket. It would be the guitar sound in Rocket. I don't mean the riffs, I mean the actual dialed in sound of the type of guitar used, the amp, the everything. Just it is beautiful. And so like I'll be at the gym and I'm listening to that like 30 years later, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is so good. And most of the stuff that I'll like revisit, stuff that I loved when I was a kid, I I'm telling you, if you have iTunes right now, put it on and fast forward to like, I don't know, the middle of the song when it gets like really heavy. You tell me if I'm wrong. There is, if the sound, if there was a sound to how a warm vagina feels, it is the guitar sound in the song Rocket by Smashing Pumpkins. 100%. Like, because I'll listen to old shit at the gym sometimes, and I'm like, this shit, like, I can't believe I like this so much. This is fucking terrible. Like Pearl Jam's 10, I can't even listen to that album anymore. I can't listen to any of the songs on it. I just can't. And there was a time where that album was, if I couldn't express into words how I felt as a 16-year-old, that album absolutely put it into words for me. That is how I felt. And now I listen to Pearl Jam and I'm just like, Jesus. And not really, like there's some of their newer songs that I still really like, but that first album, I'm like, dude. And Radiohead too. What the fuck was I thinking with Radiohead? Now they got better later on, but their early shit, I was like, what the fuck is this? If I hear that song Creep one more fucking time, I'm gonna lose it. It's terrible. And it's just such a cliche song. Like between that and I'm telling you, man, yeah, Temple of the Dog is interesting because Temple of the Dog, Eddie Vedder was only on one track for that album, which was Hunger Strike, and Chris Cornell, God rest his soul, did the vocals. So basically, what you have there is what Pearl Jam is made up of today is the band, just with Chris Cornell fronting the band. So imagine Pearl Jam today, but with Chris Cornell as the singer. That's exactly what Temple of the Dog was. That's exactly what that was, because Matt Cameron was playing drums on that record, and he didn't join Pearl Jam officially until way later. Way later. Yeah, there you go. Good for you, Kelly Hill. Learn. That is the closest thing. That is the closest thing to what a warm vagina feels like when you are not experiencing a warm vagina. I promise you. And Mad Season, that was a great album too. Yeah, Mad Seasons. Yeah, that was fantastic. But yeah, so we're just gonna chill today, dude. Like, sometimes I just get the hankering to hang out with you guys, and yeah, I'm gonna open up the phone lines, and I feel bad about what happened. Let me explain. I know I explained in the post in the community post and on Twitter. I did explain why I did explain why I had to end my live so abruptly. I had so remember earlier in that live, I was like, I'm gonna have to step away for a minute and then come back. And I did that, and I was able to do it undetected because I was going over one of Turtle Boy's articles, which I think I'm gonna go over another one today. But I was going over one of Aiden's articles, and there was a video attached to it. So I was like, all right, I'll play this video and then I'll run out. And what happened was I ordered some groceries. I was waiting for the groceries to get here. And so when they got here, and I knew I was gonna have to step away to get them, because I couldn't just leave them sitting on the porch. So when they got here, I was like, all right, I'll play this video and then I'll run out and I'll grab them. But I was in such a rush to come back before the video ended, because it was only like a 3-minute video and it was Aiden like talking shit, right? And so I was like, all right, but I rushed back, but I forgot to close the door behind me, and Clubber ran out. And so when I noticed Clubber was not here, I freaked out. So I had to like end the live and make sure, and I was confident because I have him chipped and everything, so I was confident that I would find him, but I expected to have to look all over the neighborhood for him. And he had never run away before. He had never actually, like, he's gone after like squirrels and shit, or like cats. That's what he'll do. Like there are times where I won't, I'll take him from one part of the house to the other from the outside and not have a leash on him, because he knows just to stay next to me unless there's a cat or a squirrel. Then he goes bolting, chasing after them. And so I was worried that he would get so involved in his pursuit, if that were the case, that I would have to look all over the neighborhood for him, because I didn't even see which direction he went. I was sitting here talking to you guys. So that part of me freaked out, and so I had to end the live. And what's funny is, as soon as I ended it and I walked outside the door, here comes Clubber, like, oh, hey, what's up, Dad? And I'm just like, fuck, man. So I didn't get to take any calls. And so I'm sorry about that. But we'll do that today, unless something like that happens again. Hopefully it doesn't. But Joseph Kane just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. Very, very kind of you. And Vicky Blaze, member for 5 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And
oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
there.
Thank you, Hans Gruber. Put an air tag on his collar. And make sure you don't forget the code key. Sue Nowicki, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. So yeah, we're just gonna go over just whatever bullshit. Dream Feed Media dropped another video, but I'll probably go over that tomorrow. Give that a little time to marinate for a little bit, and then I'll go over that and pump it up a little bit, because we love Dream Feed Media here. She's great. But Turtle Boy dropped another video in regards to people not seeing John O'Keefe laying on the lawn of 34 Fairview, which I'm telling you is fucking impossible. That those people, nobody saw him. Like, that's insane. Like, I could see one person just being like, okay, well, I'm not paying attention. And, you know, maybe they're looking at their phone or something, you know, but every single person that left 34 Fairview that night, I call bullshit. Liz, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Appreciate you.
Oh, here we go.
Actually, wrong one. All right. Now, let me see if I can pull this up here. Oh, snap. Hold on, man. Oh, this is my kind of shit right here. All right. Sorry. That's cool because it's like that stuff's not copyrighted, but it's just my kind of music. It's the kind of stuff I like. So I just wanted to check it out. Hold on. Go to where did I find that? All right. So everyone stop what they're doing right now. Stop what you're doing right now and go give this video that I just posted in chat. Give it a like. It is Turtle Boy's most recent upload. Liz, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. No, we're not going over Dream Feed's new video today, I don't think. But we are going to watch this. None of the witnesses. 8 witnesses testified that they drove by 34 Fairview between 12:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. That's a long window. Yikes. 7 of them are lying.
Where were your headlights pointed?
In front of me, in front of the truck,
I'm sorry?
in front of the truck.
And what were you able to see of the front lawn of the Albert residence that very first time you passed?
I was able to see the entire front lawn.
And about what time was it that you first passed 34 Fairview Road?
About 2:45.
Now, as you continued along past the driveway, did you continue to have all of those headlights on in front of you?
Yes.
And as you continued along, what were you able to see of that front lawn? How much of it?
A very large portion, almost to the front steps.
And now, when you're plowing, where is your attention focused, sir?
My attention's focused in front of me and then to the sides.
Why would your attention be focused to the sides?
I am trying to be aware of any side traffic, any pedestrians, and God forbid any animals.
And when you were passing the Albert residence, as you pass every home, what attention do you pay to the size of the road and the lawns that are adjacent to the road?
I'm, again, making sure that there are no animals, no pedestrians, and making sure no one's coming out of their driveways, not expecting to see me.
And with regard to
So, in other words, Lucky, you're driving a massive vehicle, and your part of your job is ensuring public safety. And in ensuring public safety, you do something crazy like actually look at your immediate environment and scan for anything that might be out of the usual, out of the norm, that you could hit that might hurt someone or yourself. Crazy that you would do that, Mr. Lucky Lofgren. Crazy that you would do that.
66, you see the flagpole there?
Yes,
Is that something you had seen previously?
yes.
And when you made that first pass by that residence at 2:45 in the morning, sir, with your headlights
Good
on,
point, Laura. Thank you.
what, if
And missed
anything,
it
did you
twice.
see on the front lawn in the area of the flagpole?
I saw nothing.
If there had been a 6'2", 200-pound man lying in the snow there, would you have seen it?
Objection.
Sustained. Call whether or not it was during conversation or music playing or anything like that in the car's driving away.
Yeah.
I can't look at this fucking guy and take him seriously, dude. I just can't fucking do it, dude. Like, anybody married to Jen McCabe, bro, first of all, like, I just can't. And then you just got this person, bro. Like, you just.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Diane Gavin, thanks so much. Thanks for coming back, Clever. You would have broken Dad's heart. We are all grateful. Very true. Yes, thank you, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, dude, like, I'm just not, I can't, dude, with this guy. Like, I can't. Like everything that I think about this guy is confirmed when I look at him, what I think of him, you know, because during this testimony, some texts that he sent in a group text are read back, and he wants to play lookout. He's the weak, dispositioned fucking tool that, yeah, he's a weasel. Exactly. He's a fucking weasel. Hey, I'm in front of the Asian house. Does anybody want me to take video and take pictures? You want me to take a picture and send it to you? What do we say? Tell him the guy wasn't in the house. Exactly. Okay, is whatever you say. Let me take a picture. What? Oh, the Asian house. I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to send them. I can't with this fucking guy. And everybody on Twitter that defends him is like the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? That tells you everything you need to know.
Chitter chatter. You know, my wife was turned towards me, like turned in, talking to the girls behind me. I know at one point somebody was joking about, I don't know, peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something, like something about bread. I forget what it was. And then that was like drove up the street.
Something about bread. I don't know what it was. Coffee Cake, thank you so much. Did Karen flip her car around after she dropped John off? I never understood that part. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm just drinking this dude in, bro. Mr. Fucking, I ordered a vodka with a splash of Crystal Light. Grown ass man walked into a bar and fucking told a bartender that, a fucking working bartender that to their face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know bartenders, dude, like a splash of Crystal Light. Like, if I'm a bartender, you want a what? And all kinds of shit's going through your mind. Like, he's the kind of guy that bartenders talk shit about, like, after they leave, you know? Bartenders and fucking bar managers and wait staff, like, they sit around and get drunk and talk about, you should have seen this fucking guy. This guy fucking straight up looked me right in the fucking face and ordered a fucking vodka with a splash of Crystal Light. You should have fucking seen his face when he asked me that shit. I guarantee you that's the kind of talk that happens at the waterfall after this dude leaves. After they're done and they're like, fuck, give me a double Jameson fucking neat. Put that shit in a fucking red Solo cup and fill it up. They're like, dude, this fucking guy looked me right in the fucking eyes, dude. And he asked me for a fucking vodka with fucking Crystal Light because he's on a fucking diet. Believe that shit? I wanted to punch him in the face right then and there. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman bartender either. They're all saying the same thing. The woman bartender, like, I wanted to fucking punch him right in the fucking face for asking me that shit. Like, I wanted to ask him if he had a set of balls. Like, I guarantee it. She's like, how do you tell me your dick size through ordering a drink? You ask for a vodka with a splash of Crystal Light to let me know that you have fucking micro dick. 100%. Like, that's what a bartender's thinking. You walk in here, you ask me for a fucking vodka with a splash of Crystal Light, and immediately you've got micro dick. As far as I'm concerned, I'm judging people. That's it. That's how that works. I'm in a diet. I'm in a diet contest, and I'm determined to win.
And as you were driving up the street and away from residence in Fairview, what, if anything, you observed normal on the side of the road, looking inside the road?
I was focusing on the snow coming down.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the conversation they were like? Think about the conversation. All those fucking dudes, these fucking McAlberts, standing around talking about how they used to look, which is probably inaccurate. It's probably an inaccurate memory. Oh, I was at fucking like 8% body fat at one point. Oh yeah, I was at 7. Oh, really? Oh, come here. Let's play a little grab ass. Like, these are the kind of guys that do that shit, that sit around and they talk shit about how they used to look back when I played ball. Ah, like, you know, they were having some stupid fucking conversation like that, drunk as fuck. No more of this fucking beer. I'm not drinking this fucking Michelob Ultra shit anymore. Fuck that. I'm not drinking this fucking Michelob Ultra. I'm drinking fucking, from now on, it's going to be fucking Tito's and fucking a splash of Crystal Light. Not Crystal Light, but a splash of Crystal Light. Because, you know, that stuff that's not sugar, it's kind of bad for you too. So I don't want that shit in my drink because I'm going to be fucking ripped. Give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm at what? Fucking 230? I'm at what? 230? I'll get down to 180. Okay? 2 weeks. All I got to do is keep drinking alcohol and make sure that my salads, even I eat a lot of salads with a lot of dressing, and I keep drinking alcohol. But as long as I get just a splash of Crystal Light on the vodka, because there's no calories in the vodka, then I'm gonna get down to the weight. Okay, come here. Let me grab your ass. Come here. Oh, get off my ass. Oh my God. Hey, not so hard. You know these people were fucking standing around doing stupid shit like that. Talking out of their asses, not knowing a fucking thing about having absolutely no intention of going to the gym. Bunch of dudes who fucking talk about bench pressing but never bench press. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Like this guy, dude. This guy has not seen a fucking gym in I don't even know, dude. Guaranteed. Like, you know, he's that guy who goes to the gym like once every fucking 6 months, walks in, keeps a towel fucking around his neck and stuffed into his shirt, fucking gets on the elliptical for like fucking 30 seconds. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. Oh, my fucking back. Nah, I mean, I came here, I was gonna work out and everything. I got a membership, but I fucking my back's fucked up. It's my back, kid. I can't do anything about my fucking back. What do you want me to do? My back's fucked up. I broke my back. Oh my God, these motherfuckers.
windshield wipers and driving up the street.
And fair to say you didn't see anything in the yard or anything like that.
That's correct.
During the course of you walking out the door, heading to your Jeep, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary in the yard, correct?
No.
You certainly didn't see a body in the yard.
Of course not.
Now, you get in your car, and it's facing directly toward.
This is another one right here. This fucking guy. I can't with this fucking guy, dude. Like, dude, I get the impression from Karen Reed that she's a very intelligent person. Okay. I'm willing to entertain the possibility that the exchange between them went exactly how she planned. I feel like she read this dude front to back before she fucking shot him a text. Right? Front to back. Was like, this guy's not going to know what to fucking do when a woman like me comes on to him. He's not going to know what to fucking do. And everybody's happy because I never cheat. I'm just doing just enough to get John's attention and appreciate me a little more. Because this guy's never gonna bite. He doesn't know what to fucking do. The idea of a beautiful woman hitting on him freaks him the fuck out. And that's exactly what fucking happened. Like, you read those texts between the two of them, or you listen to them read out loud in trial. And I'm telling you right now, this dude right here, there is like not even a chance. Look at him, dude. Like, there's not even a chance that this dude knows what to fucking do with a self-aware, independent, strong, ambitious woman. He's not going to know even the slightest fucking way to even process that a woman like that would be interested in him. She had to know that. I have to give Karen Reed that credit. She had to know that. Because what other explanation is there? Look at her and look at him, dude. You know what I mean? Look at John. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the oddball out? You know what I mean? Look at the look on his face, dude. This isn't the 40-year-old version, dude. This is the 50-year-old version. Okay? This is what happens. This is what happens to Steve Carell in that movie 10 years later, still didn't get laid. This is what you're looking at right here. Because now there's a bitterness to it. He's pissed off. He's angry. You know what I mean? Like, Steve Carell's character in 40-year-old virgin still had that look of curiosity on his face. Just like, you know, this guy's just like, He's a decorated dude. Like, this guy just has a look like he's sick and tired of pussy hating him so much. He's over it. He's just like, dude, whatever. Are you playing with me? I'm not sure this is real. I don't understand why I'm getting a text from an attractive woman. I don't know what to do with a text from an attractive woman. So she's gotta be playing with me. Are you playing with me? Are you playing games? I don't understand what's going on here. You're attracted to me? I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. I'm hot. I'm gonna need a little bit more than that because I don't believe you.
For the flagpole, correct?
It's facing directly up the street. The flagpole would be off to the 1 o'clock.
Right. So just a few degrees off to the right, the flagpole is, correct?
It's off to the right.
Just a few degrees.
I don't know how many degrees, but it's off to the right.
Well, you just said 1 o'clock. You're
Yes.
a former military guy, right?
I am.
Okay. 1 o'clock means 1 o'clock on watch. 12 o'clock is due north or right in front of you. 1 o'clock is just a few degrees to the right, correct? That's what you meant.
At the 1 o'clock, yes.
Okay. So you didn't see a body when you got in your Jeep.
No, I did not.
Then you turned the engine on, correct?
And the wipers, yes.
And the lights.
Yes.
And the lights lit up everything in front of you, correct?
Yes.
Still didn't see a body, did you?
No, I did not.
Sitting in the driver's seat, you put the car in gear and begin to roll forward, right?
Yes.
But there was a plow on the ground that scraped for a foot, right?
Yes.
So you picked it back up,
Yes.
looked out the windshield to make sure the plow was situated, and continued to roll forward, correct?
I knew it was up when I continued to drive.
And as you continue to drive, you're looking ahead of you and probably to your left to make sure that there's no oncoming cars, right?
Well, I knew there was no oncoming cars. I was just driving forward.
It's fucking baffling, bro. I'm looking at a guy. Like, I don't even know. I hear military guys, and I bet you anything that he's used the term like 7 clicks west. I don't know what a fucking click is, dude. I don't even know. I don't know how many miles are in a click or how many clicks are in a mile. I don't fucking know. But this dude guaranteed wouldn't know how many clicks it takes to get to the clit. The guy doesn't know where the clit is. He can't get there. He can't find it. There's no compass for it. There's no map to read. This guy, I could say fucking 10 clicks east, head that way, and he would be like, boom, got it. But if I say, show me the clitoris, he's gonna go, the what? Are you messing with me? You know I'm a decorated dude, right? Are you messing with me? I don't understand. The what? I can tell you what a click is. Clit? What's no, you're saying it wrong. No, I'm saying it right. No, you're saying it's click. Okay? Distance. Yeah, dude. All right, man.
Right. So your focus is directly in front of you.
On the road, yes.
And everything in your peripheral vision is right in front of you as well, correct?
Yes.
Nothing obstructing your view.
I mean, other than snow on the car.
Nothing obstructing your view outside, toward the lawn. When another car parked there,
No, I didn't. There was no vehicles in front of me. No.
it was the roadway was relatively empty.
There was no
You're
cars.
wrong.
And you didn't see a body then either, did you?
I did not.
And as you drive past that flagpole with everything lit up and everything in your peripheral vision, you still didn't see a body on that.
And against that white snow, did you see a black baseball cap?
Absolutely not.
And as you sat in that driveway, you also did not see a black sneaker?
Absolutely not.
And you also did not see 45 pieces of red plastic?
No.
Or even one piece?
No.
And you certainly did not see a 6'2" man on the lawn of your girlfriend's parents?
And this guy says no, like he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He's like looking at you and he like he's fucking crazy, like a fucking piece of tail light. What? A fucking person laying in the lawn. What? Like he doesn't even know why he's there.
Home, correct?
No, I did not.
You saw nothing unusual in that front area of the lawn, correct?
No, I did not.
Caitlin got into the Jeep.
Correct.
The plan was for you to drive the Jeep back east and with her, correct?
Yes.
You backed out of the driveway, correct? And you turned the rear end of that car toward Cedar Crest, correct?
Not towards Cedar Crest. I was going up the hill. So
Okay. If I suggested to you that going up the hill would take you towards Chapman, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other end of the street was Cedar Crest, right?
Towards that way, yes.
Okay. So the rear end of your car was towards Cedar Crest and you were facing up the hill towards Chapman, right?
Yes.
All right. That would have meant that you were driving your vehicle past really
Yeah,
the
I
entire
don't-
length of Brian Albert's front lawn, correct?
Yes.
I don't remember this guy's name, but he's the guy that was driving the truck that Ryan Nagel was in when they pulled up behind Karen when approaching 34 Fairview.
And the front lawn
would have been on Caitlin's side of the car, correct?
Yes.
And you drove past the flagpole that you're familiar with, correct?
Yes.
And as you drove past
Yeah,
that entire
Ricky,
front lawn, you never
Ricky's
saw any of the things I previously asked you about: the baseball hat, the sneakers, the pieces of red plastic, or a 6'2" man, correct?
I did not.
You saw nothing out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
And you saw no tire tracks in the snow
Oh,
leading
wait.
to the Albert's front lawn. did
Okay.
you?
I did not.
You didn't see anything that would lead you to conclude.
Good call. No, you guys are right. I'm sorry. That is Tristan. That's the dickhead that that's Caitlin Albert's boyfriend. That's the dude that picked a fight, or Allie's boyfriend. Sorry. Is it Caitlin? It's Caitlin, right? Yeah. It's Caitlin. Caitlin Albert's boyfriend, who tried to pick a fight with Turtle Boy, wherever the fuck that was, some public place. And every time Turtle Boy's just trying to get something to eat, and he runs into one of these fucking idiots, and then they like start some shit with him. And so what does he do? He pulls his phone out. And then what do? They go, "Oh, you're a tough guy. You're not a tough guy. Put your phone down."
that there would have been a car crash there, correct? Absolutely not.
And
None of
and then he's just gonna sit there in trial and act fucking innocent.
the other three people yelled out that they saw a body, correct?
Correct.
You got into Jennifer McCabe's vehicle, correct?
Yes.
And you were seated behind the driver, correct?
Yes.
And the driver was Matthew McCabe, correct?
Correct.
Jennifer McCabe was in the front passenger seat?
Yes.
And Sarah Levinson was sitting next to you behind the front passenger, correct?
Yes.
Matthew McCabe backed the car out of the driveway and then headed up toward Chapman Street, correct?
Yes.
That meant that the passenger side of the vehicle was closest to the Albert home, correct?
Yes.
So that meant that Sarah Levinson and Jennifer McCabe were in the seats that were closest to the Albert home, correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Sure. As Matthew McCabe was driving that vehicle alongside the Albert property line, Jennifer McCabe in the front passenger seat and Sarah Levinson in the rear passenger seat were the closest two people to the Albert home, correct?
Yes.
And as the car passed in front of the Albert home, you saw no tire tracks in the snow, correct?
I don't remember.
I mean, get the fuck out of my
Now,
face.
to have
Now,
seen
this is important. You see this perspective right here? Like, look how far into the lawn you can see from the driver's perspective, or even a passenger's, especially a passenger's perspective, coming from that direction. If 34 Fairview is on your right, I mean, you're going to see someone laying in that snow. There's no way you're going to miss it. Like, Plevin tried to say that headlights don't work that way. He said that shit on Court TV. Headlights don't work that way. Headlights only go straight ahead. They don't beam out to peripherals. Plevin said that shit on fucking Court TV. I shit you not. And you're looking right now at the perspective of someone driving down 34 Fairview at night. And you can clearly see those lawns. You can clearly see them. And that's through a fucking camera. Like, in person, in real life, you're going to see that shit even fucking clearer.
tire tracks in the snow, correct?
I don't remember.
You claim now to have seen a black object in the snow, correct?
Yes.
Object is the term that you used when you were finally interviewed about this matter, correct?
A black object, yes.
Right. You never before
Object.
told any investigator that what you actually saw was a black.
Her testimony is one of the most infuriating testimonies that I heard, because she's a medical professional. She's a first responder. I'm not sure if she's a first responder. I know she's a nurse, some kind of nurse, or a nurse's assistant or something. I can't remember exactly, but she's in the medical field. And she is the only person that who claims to have seen anything. This is Julie Nagel, by the way, who claims to have seen anything laying in the lawn. She's the only one. And what she claims to see is a black blob, quote unquote. Like, there's no way you're going to be a medical professional of any kind whatsoever. Doesn't matter. And you're going to not instinctively go, could that be a person? Hey, stop the car. I think I see somebody laying in the fucking lawn. If I'm crazy, then I'm crazy. Fine, whatever. I just need to check. That's what anybody would do. Not, oh, look, a black blob. Ho, ho, bread. That's not going to happen. Sandwiches. That's not going to happen. That's bullshit. It's a bullshit story.
Law, correct?
I don't remember.
And you also never, ever told any investigator that this black object that you described was actually 5 feet or 6 feet long, correct?
Correct, yes.
The very first time you're now mentioning this testimony that this black object, as you describe it.
Okay, so Julie Nagel's not a medical professional of any kind. I know I heard something to that effect as far as she was concerned. I know I'm not, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm mixed up. It's possible. It's possible. But I could have sworn that I heard her say that she was some sort of medical, she was in the medical field of some kind, in some way, shape, or form, and I just can't remember what it was. So what does she do then? She works at a rental car company? Okay. And I'm thinking of Sarah Levinson. Okay. Then Jesus Christ, then I'm super mixed up because I remember feeling like, okay, a black blob, what the fuck? How could you possibly think that? But I guess I was mixed up as far as her profession goes. Okay.
Was actually 5 or 6 feet long was just today, after 12 noon on May 14th of 2024, correct?
Lally asked me how big it was, so I just told him right now, yeah.
Yeah, Lally, when you say Lally, you mean Mr. Lally?
Yes, Mr. Lally, correct, yes.
Mr.
And so as with that vehicle, as with the one, the husband,
Wow.
which side of the vehicle would have been closest to the house?
Passenger.
Now, as you're driving past the house, heading to the house, how are you positioned within the car?
I'm turned chatting to the girls.
So, and when you're turned, are you turned towards the window or are you turned towards the console? Which way is it?
Turn the console towards the back seat. So my back is to the window.
The vehicle was facing towards the house, and by that I mean, was it the side you were sitting on or the side that Ms. Levinson was?
The side that Sarah was sitting on.
And that would have been the passenger side, is that correct?
Yes.
And at the time that the vehicle was driving by the house, what is it that you were doing at that time?
We were having a conversation. So
Yeah, no, I have brain farts like that all the time, guys.
Jen was kind of facing towards the back, towards me and Sarah.
All the
We were talking
time.
about making PB and jelly sandwiches because there was some peanut butter and jelly and bread in the car. So talking about that. But yeah.
And so when Mr. Cave is, she's
Yeah. And Matt McCabe is sitting there going, I don't know. They were talking about fucking bread or some shit. Like bullshit, man. It sounds like you're trying to downplay the and trying to sell the agreed upon story that you all fucking agreed upon. Like, yeah, we were talking about, you know, if they ask us details, what do we say? I'm sorry. I'm sure the conversation was a little bit more such as something along the lines of, so what are we going to say? If we're sitting there and they ask us what was going on in the car, what were we talking about? We're going to say we were talking. They're going to ask, what were you talking about? Right? Sandwiches, fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck? I guarantee you that's how those conversations happen. That's totally how I picture those conversations taking place. 100%.
Yes! I like it.
Absolutely.
Fonzie, is that right?
Yes.
And she's talking to you and Ms. Levinson, correct?
Yes.
And how is it that she's positioned talking to you in relation to the seat that she's in?
Yeah, I would say she was kind of turned back a little bit towards us in the back seat.
What I'm asking is, she turned towards sort of the center of the vehicle, or she turned towards the window next?
Towards the center of the vehicle.
And you're speaking to her and to Ms. Levinson, correct?
Yes.
Which direction are you facing?
Facing towards Sarah and Jen.
And which direction is Sarah facing as you're having this conversation?
Towards me.
And as you drive by home, what, if anything, did you observe?
I did notice behind Sarah and Jen. I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob. Did notice behind Sarah and Jen.
Look at that, dude. How are you going to tell me that you're not going to see somebody laying in the snow there? 2 inches of snow. You're not going to see a 6'2", over 200-pound man wearing dark clothing laying in that lawn. Get the fuck out of my face with that. And only one person saw, and this is what she saw.
I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the ground by the flagpole.
A black blob on the ground by the flagpole. Get the fuck out of here with that. A black blob.
And from where you were situated in the park, you know, what was the lighting like over in that area of the yard that you saw?
It was pretty dark out, but the snow was kind of heavy at that point, so couldn't really see too much. But
So snow coming down at that point? And if you know about where in relation to...
Now, I could be mistaken again, because it seems like it's one of those days. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe this was in her official statement, and I don't think that she mentioned this at the grand jury. I'm not even sure she testified, in front of the grand jury. But if I'm not mistaken, this black blob detail was left out of her original statement.
Flagpole was this black object that you saw?
I'd probably say like close to like the street, but like in their lawn, right kind of in front of the flagpole next to it.
Now, when you walked out the front door, where was your attention directed?
When I walked out the front door, I recall somewhat looking down, trying to make sure I didn't slip. The ground was completely covered with snow at that point. And then my direction was towards Tristan's car, so to the left. Then once I got in the car, I was turned again to the left, speaking with him for the majority of the first couple minutes of our ride back home to Easton.
Now, so when you exit the door, you come onto the brick steps, correct?
Yes.
Brick steps are covered in snow at that point?
Yes.
You recall what you were wearing on your feet, like high heels, flats?
I think I had high heel like boots on, something of that nature.
You're walking down the brick steps that are covered in snow in high heel boots, correct?
Yes.
And then you're walking over to your car and getting in the passenger side, correct?
Yes.
And at any point in time, at any point in time in any of the sequence, have any reason to look over to the front yard area of your parents' home in the area of the front?
I did not.
Look at that shit.
And you're talking to Tristan, is that correct?
Yes.
And so Tristan's driving during the passenger seat.
Look at that shit.
You're looking at him, but away from the front lawn as you drive. Correct?
Yes. Correct.
So Tristan Morris backed your Jeep out of the driveway, correct?
Yeah.
Cock meat sandwiches. You guys ready for your cock meat sandwiches, boys? Oh my God. Wow.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Kelly, thank you so much. The only blob she saw was when she got a quick peek of herself with the rear view mirror. Y'all are brutal, man. Y'all are fucked up. Y'all are fucked up, man.
Yes.
And the tail end of that Jeep, when he backed out, would have gone toward Cedar Crest, correct?
Correct.
Which would mean that the car was now facing toward the Chapman Street side, correct?
Yes.
And that would mean that your Jeep, being driven by Tristan, would have driven directly by your parents' full property line, correct?
Correct.
And you were on the passenger side of the car, correct?
Correct.
The passenger side was closest to your parents' front lawn as you were driving away, correct?
Yes.
And you drove past the front lawn, correct?
Yes.
You drove past the flagpole, correct?
Yes.
And in all that time, from when Tristan Morris pulled out of the driveway and drove right by your parents' front lawn, you never saw anything of the things that I previously asked you about, correct?
Did I miss this
I did
one?
not, but I also was not looking.
You saw
Sue
no
sent
baseball
the
hat, no
super
sneaker, no
sticker.
piece of
Thank
red
you,
plastic, and no 6'2" man, correct?
Correct, but I also was not looking out my window.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did anybody in this courtroom ask you if you were looking out your window?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
That was an answer to a question that nobody asked you, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
No, right?
Yes.
Matt McCabe was driving.
Yes.
Jennifer
Cat
McCabe was in the passenger
Randall,
seat next to
thank
him.
you so
Yes.
much for the
Susan
advice.
Nagel was seated behind the driver, behind Matt McCabe, right?
Yes.
And you were seated in the...
It's really, really sweet to give me that advice, Cat Randall. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna start that immediately. I'm gonna start that immediately after this joint. As soon as I'm done with this joint, I'm gonna stop smoking. But it's only until I roll the next one and then light that one up. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
second row passenger seat to the right,
Yes.
behind where Jennifer McCabe was sitting.
Yes.
And the car backed out of the driveway, correct?
Yep.
And the rear of the car was then facing towards Cedar Crest.
Correct.
And the front of the car, where you were going to drive toward, would be toward Chapman Street, correct?
That's correct.
Which would have put you driving right past the Albert property line, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you were closer to that property line than Julie Nagel was, correct?
That's
As
correct.
you drove past.
Yes.
And as you drove past that front.
Matt Randall, my bad. Yeah, you're right. Well, you're right. So yeah. I mean, I'm I'm way ahead of you. I'm way ahead of you. I'm doing both. But I appreciate it. Thank you for the advice. You've been very helpful today. Thank you.
Lauren, you saw nothing out of the ordinary, right?
I wasn't looking, but yes.
Okay.
Now, as the vehicle is going by the house, as you make that observation, what, if anything, did you say in the backseat of the car?
I did say out loud. I was like, I think I might have saw something. I'm not kind of sure what it was. But I was also intoxicated drinking. So didn't really know what it was when I saw. But Sarah was
Here
like,
we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Cat, 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 cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Angel Fire says, smoke away. Listen, Angel Fire. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And listen, I'm going to continue to smoke. I'm going to smoke away, but I want you to know it's because I want to, not because you said so. Okay. I just want you to know that. Okay. It's really important. Okay. That you know that it's on my terms. Okay. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Cat, 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 cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
Clay's nanny, thank you so much. Serious question: indica, sativa, or hybrid? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I prefer hybrid, but I don't give a shit. Really, I don't. I think anybody who fucking talks about that, like, oh well, I only do these sativa and this type of strain and blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You're not a connoisseur, okay? You're just somebody who likes to be high. That's it. Like, I feel no fucking difference between any of them ever. Like, if it's weed and it gets me high, I enjoy it. I smoke it. It doesn't do oh well, and this weed's gonna relax you, and this is really good for when you're reading, and this weed is no, man. Your high depends on your mood. Period. That's it. That's it. Like, I could smoke the same strain of weed for days and days and days. And there might be times where I feel creative when I'm high. There might be times where I feel active when I'm high. There might be times where I feel like I want to fucking go to sleep when I'm high. Doesn't matter. And I call bullshit on anybody who's like, oh, no, what is that? Is that a sativa? No, I'm sorry, I can't. No. What? Just smoke it, man. Or eat it, whatever. Jody, thank you so much. Enjoy, love your show. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, I can't tell the difference. I buy them the variety. Like, I'm not even sure what these are. Yeah, these are indica. I couldn't even fucking tell you. I don't even know what the weed is. I what I'm smoking. I don't even know.
like, what, Julie? And I was like, I don't know what it was. And then that was kind of really it.
And that was sort of the end of the conversation in reference to that. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
While you did that, sir, Julie Nagel never said, what was that, did she?
I did not hear Julie say that.
She never said she had seen a black object, correct?
I did not hear her say that.
She never said that she saw a black blob, correct?
I did not hear her say that.
And she didn't say that the black blob that she supposedly saw was 5 or 6 feet in length, correct?
Again, I did not hear her say it.
And she never said that she might have seen a person, correct?
I did not hear her. You talking about in the car?
Correct.
Yeah, I did not hear her say it.
And you were right driving, correct?
I was driving, obviously focused on the road. The windshield wipers, it was snowing pretty heavily.
You didn't have earplugs in.
I didn't, but they were all talking.
Yeah. I mean, I'll buy that, dude. I'll buy that. I'll buy that this dude was tuning out all of those fucking yapping motherfuckers. Now, do I think that he needed to concentrate on the road? No, I think that he just tuned out these fucking squawking birds that were in the backseat of his fucking car while he was trying to drive. I'll buy that. I'll buy that he just, no. I fucking hear, I wasn't fucking paying attention to what the fuck they were saying. I didn't give a fuck what they were talking about. I mean, but I'll also buy that he is doing everything he can to insert himself in the conversation and gets no respect from anybody in the car. And like the women are just like, yeah, Matt, shut up and just fucking look at the road. Shut up. Matt, Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Nobody's fucking talking to you. Shut up. I buy that shit too. I buy that shit. Totally. D1111 pass the Ducci on the left-hand side. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. I buy either one. Either scenario makes sense to me.
In the car.
You didn't have AirPods in.
No, I didn't.
Certainly not the noise cancellation AirPods, correct?
Correct. I did not have earplugs in.
And you never stopped the car because you never heard Julie Nagel say anything about anybody being in trouble, correct?
I did not hear her say it.
I did say out loud. I was like, I think I might have saw something. I'm not kind of sure what it was. But I was also intoxicated drinking, so didn't really know what I saw. But Sarah was like, "What, Julie?" And I was like, "I don't know what it was." And then that was kind of really it.
And that was sort of the end of the conversation in reference to that. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
You also didn't hear anybody. You did hear some girls in the back, since they were so chatty, talking about bread and sandwiches or something, right?
Correct.
But you never heard anybody say anything about noticing anything out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
You didn't hear Julie Nagel say that she saw a black object in the yard.
Never heard that.
But you would turn around, look at her right out, according to you, correct?
Correct.
Indeed, engaging them in conversation, according to you.
Correct.
So that you can make sure that you weren't looking out the front or right windows.
Objection.
Can you answer that? Is that why you did it? No, that's not why I did it. I was talking to the two girls.
Dude, just look at her, dude. Just no way. There's just no way. Couldn't do it.
Oh! Ew, dude! What the fuck?
No fucking way. Not in a million years. All right. What else was I going to go over? Is there anything else that I was going to go over? This might not even be a very long stream. Yeah, yeah. I know that there's like this drama going on. Like, don't email me about that shit. Don't fucking DM me about that shit. I don't give a fuck about that stuff. Like, and we're all susceptible to the drama. You know what I mean? Like, it happens. You know, I'm not trying to act like I'm above it. You know, it happens. But like, if it doesn't involve me, dude, like I try to avoid it as much as I can. I don't enjoy drama. You know, it fucking happens sometimes. But dude, of course, man, great video. Like, there's no fucking way nobody saw John O'Keefe laying there if he was laying there. Yeah, I'm. It happens to all of us, but you know, like, understand that I'm like just glad that it doesn't involve me. You know what I mean? Like, think about it from that perspective. If it doesn't involve me, understand that I'm just glad that it doesn't. So don't fucking involve me, please. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm not judging nobody for having drama. Just leave me the fuck out of it. Does anybody want to talk about does anybody no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I just honestly don't feel like talking about it right now. So I'm not gonna do it. So what's going on with what's Aiden saying here? Putting that all together, you realize how truly coached they were. They all knew exactly where Jen was looking at the time, but can't remember anything else. Yeah, I agree. They were absolutely coached. Fuck. What was I gonna ask? What's up, Nick Rocco? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. What's up, Micro Dots? Good to see you, dude. Does anybody know? That's right. Does anybody know if this 24-hour standout is happening, or is it a vigil, or is everyone going, or I'm just curious because I'm hearing mixed things through the grapevine. This is old, but I want to go over it. This is really old. But I'm not sure if I actually already went over this, though. I don't think I did, though. All right. Like I said, this is old, but I'm going to go over it.
It was the biggest, most divisive trial of 2024. Karen Reed accused of murdering her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Prosecutors say she ran him over in a jealous, alcohol-fueled rage and charged her with murder. But the defense painted a different picture, a police cover-up spearheaded by the lead investigator, Trooper Michael Proctor, who they say framed Karen Reed for murder. The case divided the community and created a very intense situation at the courthouse. Karen Reed supporters dressed in pink, while those who supported the police wore blue. The same divide apparently existed in the jury room, as the case ended with a deadlocked jury in the 3-count indictment. But afterwards, the defense says 5 jurors came forward to say they actually unanimously agreed Karen Reed was not guilty on counts 1 and 3. But the judge denied the defense request to bring the jurors back to court to find out if they actually reached verdicts on those 2 counts. And now the Massachusetts Supreme Court will make a decision. Meanwhile, both sides are getting ready for the 2025 retrial, and we're back in court today. And we have all the latest, plus analysis from our trial insiders. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. All sides, all parties, everyone.
This guy has mastered. I'm just convinced of it now. Like, this guy has just mastered the art of like riding the fence, like in a way that benefits him. It's so crazy. Like, this dude is No, he's not, though. He's not. He hasn't officially said that. He knows, because that's what I mean, is I'm telling you, Vinny fucking knows. He knows everything we know, but he just won't fucking say it.
Associated with the Karen Reed case agree that the death of John O'Keefe was absolutely tragic. That has made this case so different than many that we cover here on Court TV. Many times there's an attack of the victim. It's the victim's fault. The victim did this, the victim. None of that in this case. And that has to be clear. Whether you are on the side and the folks supporting Karen Reed or Karen Reed and her team, they all agree. No one is attacking John O'Keefe. There's just a sharp divide about what happened here and who was responsible. And that brings us to Karen Reed. And the question is she a victim?
It's not, though. It's not, though. Because Vinny, if Vinny was smart, I mean, and if he's going to discuss the divide, okay, because he doesn't have to address the divide at all, right? He doesn't have to address the divide at all, but he's going to address the divide. If you're going to address the divide, look into it. Do a little homework, right? And a lot of you know what I'm getting at here. What's the common denominator for everybody who thinks Karen Reed is guilty? All you got to do is do a little homework and figure out if Turtle Boy did a story on them in the past. Figure out if Turtle Boy has mentioned you as being part of the cover-up or having communication with people and exposing it that are part of the cover-up. The common denominator, whether you like it or not, is Turtle Boy. Whether you want to give Turtle Boy that much, clout or not, it doesn't matter because he has it. That's just the way that is. It doesn't matter because it is the fact that these people all hate Turtle Boy. Because you cannot deny, even Vinnie Politan cannot deny at this point that the facts dictate Karen Reed is innocent. That is it. It's not a question of, oh, gee, I don't know. The facts simply dictate that Karen Reed is innocent. That's it. And now I challenge anyone to look at somebody who is outspoken about Karen Reed's so-called guilt and then try to find Turtle Boy and a history with Turtle Boy in that. I promise you'll find it. I promise you'll find it. Totally Karen Reed unrelated.
Of a cover-up, or is she a villain? Someone who struck and killed John O'Keefe and has not acknowledged what she did and now is pointing the finger at completely innocent parties. It's one or the other. There's really no in-between for all of this.
Innocent people don't lie on the stand. They don't. They simply don't. Innocent people have nothing to lie about. Innocent cops don't lie on the stand, Vinny. Fuck this bullshit. Fuck this I'm in the Twilight Zone bullshit, because I'm not. Fuck that shit. Like, I'm not going to sit here and watch quietly someone entertain the possibility anymore that Karen Reed is guilty. Like, because it's not a possibility anymore. It's simply just not a possibility anymore. Now, I'm sure Vinny's a nice guy, but this has nothing to do with him being a nice guy. This has to do with him having this very, very large platform, being aware of all the facts, and entertaining the idea, just for the sake of keeping viewers hooked, entertaining the idea that Karen Reed may be guilty. She's not. It's not even a question anymore. The only reason it's a question is because people like him are maintaining it as a question. I'm sorry, but it's true. This is harmful. This is harmful because Karen Reed is factually innocent, and there is too much evidence to dictate this at this point. So now, when you're entertaining the possibility that Karen Reed is guilty, when there is no possibility anymore, and you are on a platform called Court TV, and you are constantly preaching how the burden of proof is on the prosecution, well, in that case, there should be nothing here except, as somebody who has experience in not only trials, litigating the law, and someone who talks about it on a network called Court TV as an anchor, because of my experience, it's irresponsible for me to say anything other than this case should not be being tried. Period. It doesn't take an attorney to do that. Yet, as I understand it, Vinnie Politan is an attorney. Because it's just irresponsible at this point. Like, if you're speaking from a lawyer's perspective, there's nothing that any lawyer, and I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, considering everything here, there should be nothing said other than this shouldn't even be going to trial. It went to trial once. I accept that, even though I don't think it should have. It definitely shouldn't be going to this second trial. There is no case against Karen Reed. There is no case against her. Period. And it's just so childish. I mean, because the thing is, if they were doing it for views, right? It's the story of the year to point out all of the things, to focus on the fact that this shouldn't even be happening. And it is. That is the story of the year. That is amazing. So if you're trying to get views, then it makes no sense to ride the fence. There's something else happening here. And my belief is still that mainstream media's credibility is being threatened, that so many of the facts of this case were uncovered by an independent journalist that they just refuse to refer to as anything other than a blogger. And has uncovered a lot of evidence in this case proving Karen Reed's innocence. Or at the very least, proving that there's no reason that this should be going to trial. That this should not even be being prosecuted. And that there are other people that need to be investigated. Because there is enough evidence to dictate this. These other people need to be investigated. They were never even properly interviewed. So, to me, anybody who's like, "Oh, take it easy on Vinny," Vinny knows better. I'm not out of line by holding him to this higher standard. I don't believe I am. I do not believe, and I will not be told that I am out of line for holding Vinny to this standard. He knows Karen Reed is innocent. This is a human being whose life is being turned upside down. Anyone with a platform who understands this has a responsibility to speak out on it. A moral responsibility. Now, you're free to talk about whatever the fuck you want and however you really want to talk about it. I'm not saying there should be a law. I'm saying if you're somebody who believes in right and wrong and you are somebody who strives to do the right thing, well, then you have a moral responsibility to speak out on the fact that this woman is being wrongfully tried. And that this is a gross miscarriage of justice. And this is an attack on the pockets of the American taxpayer, specifically those in Massachusetts. It shouldn't be happening.
Because she either did it or she didn't do it. If she didn't do it, she's a victim. If she did do it, at this point, she's a bit of a villain. Right? Either she's been accused of this horrific crime, something that is likely bankrupting her, completely destroying her life, or she ended a life and is destroying the lives of all the people that were connected to John O'Keefe that night. It's one or the other. And that's what made this case and this trial so divisive. So as we move forward, we have a brand new prosecutor in the case who'll be leading it. Hank Brennan will be taking over for Adam Lowry. We all experienced that first trial. It was long. I think the next one will probably be a little bit shorter, just as a result of a new prosecutor sort of trimming the case down a little bit. But it's a brand new approach. It's going to be different. It's going to be way different. As a matter of fact, this new prosecutor is trying to track down some new evidence in the case. Believe
No, he's not. But now, mind you, this is old. This takes place before I went over the live stream that Vinny Politan did. Everybody's raving about, like, oh my God, Vinny's finally coming around. Get the fuck out of my face. Vinny is not coming around. I will give Vinny credit that he's saying all of a sudden, oh my gosh, Hank Brennan, his approach to this seems really, really weird and shady. But the thing is Lally's approach to this was weird and shady. These are things that I've been saying and everybody else has been saying. What he said on his live stream that everybody's like, oh my gosh. Everybody's been saying. So excuse me if I'm not going to celebrate Vinny stating the obvious when it's convenient for him to say, convenient for him to state the obvious. It's just, I'm not going to join in that celebration. But mind you, my point being, this is old. This takes place before he started hooting and hollering about Hank Brennan's shady dealings.
it or not. New evidence. This prosecutor is trying to uncover. So what is the new evidence? What is it related to? Well, everyone was in court today, so I want you to take a listen to the prosecutor here, talking about some phone records he wants. Phone records of Karen Reed's father. Take a listen.
Miss Reed calls her father and her mother a little after 1 o'clock on the night she struck and killed John O'Keefe. She calls both of them, and those calls were unanswered, according to the phone records. The inference...
Oh, shit, look at your boy right here.
that a 40-something-year-old woman is calling her parents at 1:30 in the morning after this tumultuous event. The inference is strong evidence that Miss Reed knew she had done something terrible. She knew she had struck John O'Keefe, and she knew that she had left him behind. The 30-day period is an attempt to protect the privacy rights of William and Janet Reed by not asking for the call, the text messages, not asking.
Yeah, Richie, I'm with you, man. Hank Brennan is absolutely a scumbag. I have no quarrels with myself on about stating that out loud. So yeah, Hank Brennan is absolutely a fucking scumbag. There's no reason why he should be prosecuting this case. Any person who took a legal oath and is moving forward with this case to prosecute Karen Reed is absolutely weaponizing the law, is absolutely violating Karen Reed's rights, is absolutely violating the oath that they took to uphold justice. This is not justice. This is where the buck stops. This is worse than being a dirty cop, by the way. A lot of us want to focus on dirty cops. And yeah, dirty cops, it's a problem. Well, what's a bigger problem? Dirty fucking prosecutors. Because we count on those prosecutors to determine whether or not there was a dirty cop, whether or not the cop properly did their job in order to carry out justice for the person who's sitting on trial. That is a prosecutor's fucking job. And if you're a prosecutor and you're moving forward with this case, knowing the lack of evidence that you have, first of all, second of all, knowing taking the approach that you're taking by filing these motions and trying to block the defense from actually having a defense, this is just unethical. So yes, my opinion, my strong opinion is that Hank Brennan is a fucking scumbag. He should not be prosecuting this case. Nobody should be prosecuting this case because Karen Reed should not be on trial. So any prosecutor who does take this on is a fucking scumbag. And kudos to the attorneys that were probably approached with this and refused to do it. But I would encourage any of them to speak out. Anybody who uses, I mean, you went to law school for how many fucking years, and then you this is what you want to be remembered for? You want news cameras on you while you're doing this shit? You are a fucking scumbag for prosecuting this case. Lally's a scumbag. Brennan's a scumbag. Mello's a scumbag. Cosgrove's a scumbag.
Asking for SMS messages, not looking to forensically download the phone, just the call records, because I expect it will establish that there are no other calls in that 30-day period from Miss Reed to her parents at 1:30 in the morning.
But how do you get that from Miss Reed's phone?
No. It'll be important to be able to confront Mr. Reed, if necessary, with his own phone records. He can deny his daughter's phone records. He doesn't have to accept them as true. Also, in that first 24-hour period, it is important for the government to establish that Mr. Reed and only Mr. Reed controlled the phone. In the absence of a stipulation, this is proof that may be necessary at trial if Mr. Reed takes the position that other people had access to his phone.
Yeah, we know fucking Morrissey's a fucking scumbag.
That first conversation where she admits that she struck something, i.e. Mr. O'Keefe, is critical to the government's case. And so we cannot rely just on Ms. Reed's phone.
So they're going after Karen Reed's father's phone because of these calls that are made. Let's go back to the original trial, right? Brian Tully, Lieutenant Brian Tully on the stand talking about all of the calls that Karen Reed.
And it's interesting to watch Vinny, like, learn. Like, Vinny listening to that shit and realizing they're going after Karen's dad's phone. Am I hearing this right? Like, seeing this happening in Vinny's brain right here is interesting. It's an interesting thing to watch.
Is making that night into the early morning hours. Let's take a listen.
You've had occasion to review information related to the defendant's home?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that about 4:45 in the morning, she made phone calls trying to ascertain, or allegedly trying to ascertain the whereabouts of Mr. O'Keefe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Prior to those 4:45 a.m. phone calls, were there other phone calls that the defendant placed?
Yes.
And to whom did she place those calls and about what time?
Starting at 12:33 a.m. to 6:03 a.m., there were 53 phone calls from Ms. Reed to a phone number associated with John O'Keefe.
And in addition to those phone calls to Mr. O'Keefe's phone, what, if any, other calls did the defendant make prior to those 4:45 a.m.?
There were phone calls to her family members, to Jennifer McCabe, Kerry Roberts, Camaranos.
Now, the phone calls to family members of her own, that the defendant's family members, those were specifically to her mother and her father, is that correct?
Yes.
And did those phone calls precede the phone calls to either Ms. McCabe or Ms. Roberts or anybody else earlier that moment?
And the biggest fucking scumbag under Morrissey, who tops all these assholes, is Judge Beverly Cannoni. She's the biggest scumbag right under Morrissey. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. She hasn't done shit yet that makes me think that she even gives a fuck about justice. She hasn't made one fucking decision to make me think that she gives a fuck about justice for Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Not one goddamn thing.
On the call detail records, they don't appear, but I know the phone dump has other information.
Okay, so they have Karen Reed's records. So it's all about Karen Reed calling her parents. And you heard what the prosecutor said. He said, well, the inference is that she did something terrible, so she's calling her parents 1:30 in the morning. So they want the parents' phone records for 30 days beforehand to show that, hey, she never calls them at 1:30 in the morning ever. Right now, the state says the interest in William Reed's Verizon phone records stem from this interview he did earlier this year with Boston 25 News. Take a listen.
During your first discussions with Karen, did she believe she may have hit John?
No. She felt she struck something. She said, Dad, I think I struck something. I said, what do you mean? Right, this was in the hospital. Right? He says, I remember, all right, backing up and hitting something.
Okay, so that's where the prosecution is going, that she's admitting.
Now, why the fuck would Bill Reed tell Boston 25 that if there was anything fucking nefarious about it? Why would he feel comfortable doing that? Amanda, thank you so much. Member for 4 months. Hell yeah, 4 months. Fuck yeah, man. I'm gonna give you sweet. Yeah, man. Why the fuck would Bill Reed do that? Let me tell you something, man. I've met this guy. I've talked to this guy. He is not a dumb man. He is not the kind of stupid that if there was something nefarious that has taken place involving his daughter, that he would tell Boston fucking 25 that shit. But the common sense fucking dictates. Okay, Vinny watched Karen Reed's SUV back into John O'Keefe's SUV. We saw it. Karen Reed talked about how she had a cracked taillight. Right? So it makes sense that she would tell her dad, I think I hit something. I don't know. The taillight's cracked. I backed into something. And that's her trying to eliminate herself. And I don't mean in a manipulative way. I mean, this is her trying to make sense of what's happening. And the way to do that is to, if you're honestly trying to figure out what happened to the person that you love, who's laying up in the hospital, dying, you're going to feel like, okay, I need to eliminate possibilities to get to the truth. And if you're considering yourself as one of those possibilities, that's somebody who's willing to take accountability. So there goes the murder charge that got upgraded to right there. It's crazy that they upped her charges. But here she is going, I don't fucking know. But if I hit him, she's that desperate for closure to know what happened to John O'Keefe that she's willing to entertain the possibility that she's responsible for it, just so she knows what happened to this man that she loves. That's it. That's not the behavior of somebody who did something that she's trying to cover up and lie about.
That she struck something when she's going back. Take a listen now to Elizabeth Little, one of Karen Reed's attorneys, responding to this request for Karen Reed's parents' phone records, all relative to this alleged statement and what it means.
The Commonwealth in its affidavit set forth no particularized facts whatsoever to suggest that relevant information will be found in
Dude, Eliza Little fucking mopped the floor with Brennan at this hearing. I'm so glad that I was there for that.
Mr. Reed's Verizon records. The affidavit makes only vague reference to an interview Mr. Reed gave to Boston 25, but fails to explain why that interview suggests that relevant communications will be found on his phone records. And I would note, the Commonwealth's characterization of that interview is incorrect and incomplete. I submitted additional reporting from Boston 25, which is the news organization that published a portion of that interview. And it's quite clear that Mr. Reed goes on to state during that interview that what he's referring to when his daughter said, I believe I hit something, was the Chevy Traverse, which the court knows. This is a fishing expedition, plain and simple. The Commonwealth isn't asking for the records it already has. It doesn't need a third copy of them. What it's looking to do is sift through Mr. Reed's personal cell phone information on January 29th to see if it can find data usage information, location information, text messages with other individuals. And that is a completely inappropriate use of Rule 17.
Okay, so there's two things here really going on that I want to get to the bottom of. One is
there's one thing going on, Vinny. He's abusing Rule 17 in order to violate Bill Reed's privacy rights. Period. That's it. So that he could take something, use it, take something, twist it, and use it. Because he doesn't have a case against Karen Reed. That's all that boils down to.
Going after these phone records. If they have Karen Reed's phone records, what do you need the father's phone records for? And why don't you just call him to the stand and ask him what she said? Right? Because that's what you're getting to the bottom of. Was there a phone call? Was there not a phone call? When was the phone call? You've got her records. I'm trying to understand that. And then the other part is, what did she actually say to her father? And does it help her or hurt her? Will it help the jury figure out the truth? Joining me tonight, Karen Reed supporter, creator of Justice for Officer John O'Keefe and Karen Reed Facebook page.
And Nick Rocco's in the chat.
Nick Rocco, also joining us, criminal defense attorney, Joseph Krowski Jr.
This fucking guy.
And finally, the YouTuber behind Yellow Cottage Tales, Kevin Lenahan. Great to see you. Defense attorney, Joseph Krowski Jr. And finally, the YouTuber behind.
Like, I just can't look at this, dude. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, Vinny. I'm trying to tell you because I think you're a cool dude. I really do. But this is a bad look for court TV, my man. Is to have homie here up there just running his mouth and talking out of his ass. And Vinny, you have to know it because I know you know everything that I know. You know everything that we know. Stop it. You know this dude doesn't make any sense.
Yellow Cottage Tales, Kevin Lenahan. Great to see everyone. I'm going to start with the guy down here, Joseph Krause, because I'm going to get to the legal part of this. Joseph, if they have Karen's phone records, why do they need dad and mom's phone records? Is this going above and beyond? Is there something else really at play here?
No, I'm glad you're having me back. I wish you had one of your body language readers watching today to watch Karen, including the part where she lashed out at reporters afterwards. This was a terrible day for Karen Reed. So they have Karen Reed's phone, but if you listen to the hearing, because she's a defendant, they sent that phone through a taint protocol.
Yeah, no, that guy doesn't have a fucking agenda. That guy doesn't have a fucking agenda at all. This is a terrible day for Karen Reed. The way she lashed out at reporters and blah, blah, blah. No, like, dude, she kicked ass with those reporters, dude. That shit was amazing.
Call a taint procedure to make sure that there was no contact.
Oh, look, there's ST2. So there's Aiden. Look at Aiden's face. Like, it's like, dude. Everybody is like, Brennan sucks, bro. Look at every one of our faces, dude. Look at this shit. Hold on. You got Aiden right here. You got Esty making almost the same face. You've got Meredith making her own version of that face. You got Bill. I mean, everyone. Me back here, dude, everyone.
Tax and communications.
You got Bill, you got Janet, you got Nathan. Everyone is like
between Karen and any of her attorneys. So her phone information might not be complete. Second of all, the Commonwealth is not required to rely on her phone. If William Reed takes the stand and they present him with her records, he could simply disavow and say, those aren't my records. I didn't make that call. What we do know from the records is Karen Reed, 1:14, 19 a.m. that night called her mother's phone, which is a really unusual thing to do for a 40-something-year-old woman, unless something triggered that call. There were two other calls at 4 o'clock in the morning.
But let me ask you. We know that. Why do you need the father's phone for that? Like they have Karen Reed's phone records.
Right.
Because that's, first of all, one, it's the best way to authenticate the records. When you have the good faith basis that a call was made, of course, you're then going to go to the witness's phone records, get his records with the correct subscriber information and everything to authenticate them. But let me make the biggest point of all of that. William Reed, like his daughter, is not afraid of the cameras and making speeches. There's a call between William Reed and his daughter at 6:32 in the morning where she supposedly says, Dad, I hit something. What Hank Brennan did was brilliant. If you line up the time of that call, that's right after she finds out that John O'Keefe, well, probably knew it. That's right after everyone else finds out John O'Keefe is dying.
Oh, dude, you said it yourself. That's right there where she finds out that John O'Keefe is dying. And then catches himself.
Hit something. What Hank Brennan did was brilliant. If you line up the time of that call, that's right after she finds out that John O'Keefe, well,
that's right after she finds out
Probably knew it. That's right after everyone else finds out John O'Keefe is dying on the front yard at 34 Fairview. Do you really think the topic of conversation is, Dad, John's dying? By the way, I think I hit his Traverse a couple of hours ago and maybe cracked the tail light. Do you have a good auto body repair guy? It's absurd. The reasonable inference is she called him at 1 o'clock in the morning because she knew she hit John. They have a conversation at 6 in the morning. The father wants clarification, and that's why she says, I think I hit something, and the something is John O'Keefe. If we're going to be intellectually honest, it's the only thing that makes sense. One final point. You said neither side has been attacked.
This guy sounds like Plevin. Like, no, just because you say it's the only thing that makes sense doesn't mean it makes sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Attacking John O'Keefe. Well, I will say maybe not John O'Keefe, but they've certainly been attacking John O'Keefe's mother, while Karen Reed sits idly by. Well, she finally got a little taste of her own medicine today. She was on her heels.
Nick Rocco, what's the story from your perspective behind these phone calls to mom and dad by Karen Reed?
So she never called her father at 1:30 in the morning. The first phone call to her father was at 6:32 in the morning. And she did not tell
Yes, I read that. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it.
her father on the phone call that is when she potentially hit something and backed into something. She told Bill Reed that in the hospital. He specifically said that actually in his interview that when he was in the hospital, that's when Karen said that. So that initial phone call at 6:32 to her father most likely was.
Yeah. See, that dude straight fucking lied and Nick caught it. That dude straight fucking lied and said that it happened on the phone call at 6:30. And that's not when that happened. It happened in the hospital because that's what Bill Reed said when he talked to Boston 25. Bill Reed straight up said that it happened at the hospital. So the phones are irrelevant.
To let him know what was going on outside. Now, as far as the 1:14, 1:30 call to her mother early in the morning, I mean, listen, if your significant other doesn't come home, he's not answering the phone. She's at the home. She's at home with the oldest niece. The nephew isn't there. She's probably calling her mother for advice. She wanted to go home at that point. I don't think it's unusual for somebody to call their parent in a situation. She really doesn't have anyone else to call. Her significant other is not at the house at that time. And there's no one else. Who is she going to call when she's in a situation when she needs advice? The only other person you're going to call is your mother and father. There was only one phone call. She didn't call her mother 10 times to wake her up to find out what she needs to do. It was one phone call, didn't answer, and then the next phone calls were at 4:55 in the morning. And then as far as the Boston 25, I mean, Ted Daniel himself clarified this. Boston 25 clarified this. There is no way that Bill Reed would go on air and openly admit that his daughter confessed to hitting John O'Keefe in an interview that's going to be seen by thousands of people. No parent would have.
Nobody would fucking do that, dude. And according to Nick here, even fucking Ted Daniel himself said that shit. Like, fuck no. I wish we were sitting on the fucking confession of the year. I mean, it's asinine, dude. Like, I love how this lawyer is sitting here talking about how Karen had a meltdown. She didn't. What she did was she straight up said, like, all of you guys are sitting on gold. If I gave you guys a fucking confession, you guys have been sitting on it this whole time. You guys are fucking not doing your jobs. That's totally what Karen called out all the press on the steps of those of that courthouse that day. That's what Karen told every member of the press. If you guys, if there's footage of me confessing, and we're at the second trial, dude, you guys are slipping. You're not doing your jobs.
Ever do that?
Yeah, and Kevin, if you watch the piece and the piece that aired after, I guess, the subpoena and after the first trial, it seems that the context of this hitting something is a conversation at the hospital. Are you hearing it any differently?
Yeah, I think that's what the case is. And what's always interesting to me is he's going on and doing an interview that they would have practiced for and gone over with the attorneys. Why is he releasing that? Well, that was the same time that they were leaking to Court TV the audio, the ring video that showed Karen backing into John's Traverse in the driveway. So they're trying to run a narrative at that time. Now, I would think the prosecution would be interested.
Leaking to Court TV.
Speaking to Karen's cousin, Kelly, because my understanding from speaking to.
So according to Plevin's basically accusing the network that he's on right now of spinning a narrative when he has no business being up there, yet he's up there, and they're spinning the opposite narrative. Really, bro? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. This is ridiculous that they leak this footage.
Natalie, who was working closely with Karen at the time, is that they didn't even realize that this video showed Karen backing into the traverse until Kelly, who was a lawyer but not on the team, spotted it in the discovery material. So she was the one that figured. So it's
Kelly's not even a lawyer.
possible that Karen never knew that she backed into that vehicle, and this is something that Mr. Reed just put out as they were building this narrative in the summer of 20.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, Vinny. I'm trying to tell you too, Julie Grant. Y'all look fucking stupid. Like, you look stupid because of Julie Grant. Okay? But y'all look fucking stupid because you got this dude on here. You got Plevin from his fucking mom's attic spewing out this nonsense.
2023, when they were trying to suggest that that's where the taillight was damaged. And just one more thing quickly, this going after the phone calls, this could be exculpatory too, because the idea is, what if you find out that Karen has a history on other occasions of getting drunk and calling her mom or her dad? Because you have to ask, why didn't they answer the phones in the morning? Now, it could have been from the blizzard, everybody's sleeping, it was windy, everybody's sleeping. What if you find out that Karen has a history on other occasions of getting drunk and calling her mom or her dad? Because
what if? Plevin, what if Karen has a history of calling her mom, drunk dialing her mom and her dad in the middle of the night or early hours of the morning? And what if? What if? I love how Plevin says things like this, and they're supposed to like be of some sort of substance. I love that question, Plevin. What if? Explain to me how that explains anything.
you have to ask, why didn't they answer the phones in the morning? Now, it could have been from the blizzard, everybody's sleeping, it was windy, everybody's sleeping.
Why didn't they answer the phones? Because they were a fucking sleep, dude.
But maybe she actually has a history of doing this, getting drunk and getting upset on other occasions, which would be exculpatory to her. But if you don't have that pattern, then you have to ask, why was Karen calling at that time? Was it unusual?
Joseph, let me ask you about.
It doesn't matter if it was unusual. That's not even circumstantial. Like, it doesn't matter if it was unusual. She could have been calling about anything. She could have been calling and asking if Bill prefers Michael Jackson pre-plastic surgery or post-plastic surgery. That could have been the subject matter, and it wouldn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's not unusual for any person to call their parent at any time. It doesn't matter what time it is. It's their parent. That means they get a pass. They get a card to call their parent whenever the fuck they feel like calling their parent. There's nothing unusual about it.
What the prosecution is looking for up in Massachusetts, which is the unaired portion of the Boston 25 interview. The part, right, when we do interviews in television, it might be 2 hours and we put 20 seconds on if it's not a live thing. So there's some video and that exists, I'm sure, of the interview that has not been aired. Do they get it or do they not get it in Massachusetts?
They absolutely get it, and that's probably one of the problems when you have a lawyer from Los Angeles. I don't know Valen Jackson. I presume he was aware. David Yannetti certainly was. There is not a reporter privilege in Massachusetts. The only exception is if you're trying to protect a confidential informant as the source of that information. When the source of the information here, Karen Reed and William Reed, are known, then all of the information is discoverable, and it's not subject to any privilege. You got to ask yourself, why are lawyers having their client continually get out there in the public eye and speak and give interviews with different media outlets? There's only two explanations. One, they're trying to taint the jury pool, which is impermissible for lawyers, but Karen Reed's free to do it if she wants to do it. Or two, there's got to be some financial incentive. They're trying to gin up interest in the story, or perhaps there's contractual relationships with other media outlets, and we're going to see something after the trial. What you do, though, when you have your client speak, I think it was a learning lesson today, you do it at your own peril. They can't control the narrative. They can't have these cozy relationships with the media and go over the information they give and decide amongst themselves which gets published and broadcast and which doesn't. Attorney Brennan, these are admissions. These are incriminatory. These are material and relevant. We have an unfettered right under Rule 17 in Massachusetts to get them. And I'm telling you, he's going to get them.
All right. Well,
and look out.
I don't like that word cozy, though. Cozy makes it sound like we're on this. Like, we'll interview whoever will talk.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you? Forrest Dump, you win handle of the day. 5 spot for smart people and fuck off court TV. Left of it, Forrest Dump. Forrest Dump. Love it. Forrest Dump. My favorite.
So that's the way the media works. If someone's associated with a big story, we're going to get the interview. It's not about being cozy.
Vinny, she had a reporter from Vanity Fair stay over her house for 3 days. That's pretty cozy. Come on. You know better than that.
No, I don't know better than that. I will interview anyone associated with any big case, period. Period.
There you go. There you go, Vinny.
Go stay at her house.
If that's how you get the interview, that's how you get the interview. I don't know. All right. They're with us. They're staying with us, not going anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about Turtle Boys is in the news today, associated with some arguments made by the defense. You'll want to hear that. Plus, coming up next hour. Tonight on Politan investigates the OnlyFans murder. Courtney is the investigator prepared to take responsibility.
Trained pathologist, and I was attacking anyone who was in a fight with his owner. That's how we know that Brian Albert was involved. That's how we know that Chloe was involved, because not one, but 2 doctors, trained pathologists, who have looked at thousands.
The camera's just on SD. Liz gifted another membership. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh my God. What in the hell? There we go.
Of autopsy photos and testified in thousands of cases. All agreed. Those are dogfights.
The man in the middle of all of those Karen Reed supporters, Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtle Boy, who's really the driving force behind the movement that turned into like something we've never ever seen. I mean, the numbers of people and the passion they have to support a complete stranger, Karen Reed. He's the one who really got everything started. So today he was in court. If you look at the man in the white jacket on the screen right there, you can see him. There we go. He was in court today, which has not always been the case because he's not always permitted to be inside the court, depending upon who else is there. Let's take a.
I can't believe I've never gone over this.
Listen back to the judge making a ruling excluding him at certain times of the Karen Reed case.
He wishes to be in the galley of journalists like everyone else and cover the case. There's never been a problem whatsoever. This is more personalized retaliation from the Norfolk County DA's office against Mr. Kearney. And there's absolutely no reason for the government to sneak behind my back to interfere with his First Amendment rights. It's outrageous, and on procedural grounds, I ask you to deny the motion.
My role in this case, Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, is to assure that the defendant's constitution.
We love Tim Bradle. Listen to fucking Bev right here, dude. I remember this shit, dude. Bev right here, just straight up like lies and uses Karen Reed and her rights as a way to rob Turtle Boy of his
Constitutional right to a fair trial are honored and upheld. And because of the chilling effect that Mr. Kearney's presence, I find, will have on the witness's testimony, I'm going to excuse him while the named witnesses in the Commonwealth's motion.
The chilling effect that Turtle Boy has on the witnesses. Get the fuck out of my face.
Julie Nagel, Christopher Albert, Colin Albert, Michael Proctor, Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, Ryan Albert, and Yuri Buchanek. And the Commonwealth also today requested Nicole Albert because of the incidents that reportedly have been held at her home. I'm going to excuse him during all of that testimony.
Okay, so what's the history? Well, he has his own case that is pending. Charges, 16 charges. Take a look. We'll put them up on the screen to remind you. 16 charges of witness intimidation. So he's got his own criminal legal battle that he is in the midst of. But that seemed to intersect today with the Karen Reed case. Take a listen to David Yannetti, Karen Reed's attorney, talking about wanting to get some phone records connected to the DA, connected to the case involving Aidan Kearney. Take a listen.
We were informed this morning that Mr. Brennan has gone through Mr. Morrissey's cell phone. Apparently, there is one work cell phone and one personal cell phone. Obviously, the personal cell phone becomes relevant because it used a personal email address to make an ex parte communication with the court. One concern that we have is that we were told this morning that with regard to Mr. Morrissey's text messages, not emails, but text messages, apparently they're somehow remarkably set to auto-delete after 30 days.
Remarkably.
That raises some questions for us, maybe the subject of a future motion, but more immediately, the concern is every day that passes, we're losing text messages from 30 days prior. We believe that searches should be done of his iCloud email for the name Reed, spelled R-E-A-D correctly, or Reed R-E-E-D, which is how Mr. Morrissey typed it in his communication with the court. We don't know if he did that for the purpose of avoiding a FOIA request or if he just misspelled my client's name. We have obviously reason not to trust Mr. Morrissey in light of his actions using this personal email account to make an ex parte communication. And we'd ask that.
Reason not to trust. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this stuff is going to come out in Turtle Boy's trial. That's the fun part. The fun part is that this stuff that Yannetti's addressing right here is going to come out in Turtle Boy's trial. This is why it's very important to follow Turtle Boy. This is a good move on Vinny's part here. Because I've said it many times. I'm going to say it many more times. You cannot properly discuss the Karen Reed case without discussing the Turtle Boy case. You cannot tell this story without telling the other story. It can't be done. Not properly, anyway. So, this is going to come out. This stuff is going to come out in Turtle Boy's trial. And ironically, as I've stated many times before as well, this stuff wouldn't have even happened had they not tried to silence him. Oh, the irony and how much I love it.
A more thorough search be done for these types of communications.
Okay, let's bring back in our guest still with us, Nick Rocco, Joseph Krowski Jr., Kevin Lenahan. It's very convoluted and complicated. This is the DA, his phone records. Nick, from your perspective, what on earth is the defense concerned about when it comes to the DA's phone records that may or may not be connected to Turtle Boy's case?
Well, just the number one fact that he spelled Karen Reed's name wrong clearly shows that, one, he's either not paying attention to the person that he's trying to prosecute, or he's trying to hide the fact that he's talking about Miss Reed in the emails. And in some of those personal emails, he sent emails to the Chief Justice of Massachusetts District Court, the administrator for the trial courts, the deputy court administrator, also a sitting judge at the Stoughton District Court, and then his right-hand woman that's in the office. I believe her name is Lynn Balan. She is the basically the second hand at Norfolk County. So you have all these personal emails getting sent to these people, and specifically one of them was to Judge, I believe it was Judge O'Malley in Stoughton District Court. In that situation, Christopher Albert went in for a harassment prevention order against Turtle Boy. The judge denied it. The next day, that judge received an email from Michael Morrissey's burner account to basically reprimand him and tell him that he has a leak in the clerk's office because one of the clerks apparently released public information to either somebody who gave it to Turtle Boy, but it came in his possession, and that's public information. And what he did, he went on a burner account, sent an email, and said, you need to make this right, because now nobody trusts the court system. And it's right there in black and white. He wrote it himself. So there's stuff out there that this man has been talking about the Karen Reed case, and I'm sure that's why he's using a burner email address.
What's going on here, Kevin?
Boom.
So in the early weeks that Karen and her defense team, because this is on the record, both Jackson and
I love how Vinny asked him, what's going on here, Plevin? I mean, he said Kevin, but what's going on here? Like, Plevin's got answers for this. And the only way Plevin would have any answers for this is if he fucking was talking to somebody involved in this shit.
And he started feeding this information to Turtle Boy in order to whip up this frenzy. A few weeks after that, Turtle Boy goes to the daughter of Jen McCabe, one of the witnesses, her lacrosse game, in order to harass her in the stands. Now, we now have went over on my show information.
That shit has nothing to do with nothing. What does Turtle Boy showing up to Jen McCabe's fucking kids' lacrosse game have anything to do with anything? As far as what we're talking about. That has nothing to do with anything.
That came out from an admin meeting that Dick was part of, that Turtle Boy, when he was angry on this past May 3rd, was saying that Karen was the one that had a message for Turtle Boy to deliver to Jen McCabe saying, did you think you could outsmart me? Now, whether that Karen really did that, we don't know, but Turtle Boy was making that claim, and they've had to try to contain this. Now, we fast forward to the end of the summer when this happened. The witnesses had finally, after being hounded mercilessly all summer, including by Nick Rocco, who I like, but yes, they went to the DA's office. First, they went to a Stoughton, they don't know what to do. They go to Stoughton District Court to get a protection order.
Nick's smile right there says everything. Nick's smile right there says, dude, I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. Oh my god, that shit is fucking hilarious. Dude, I don't give a fuck how you feel about me, bro.
And when that perhaps they didn't know how to get that through right, then they finally go to DA Morrissey's office to beg him for help. And so Morrissey, understanding that there were leaks, and this has been documented, and more about this is going to come after the trial. There are leaks to Turtle Boy because this is like a cult operation up here. He does have moles, including in the DA's office. This is a big problem. So he had to contain these communications. He certainly couldn't include the defense in it because they're the ones that were orchestrating this witness intimidation, allegedly. But there's a lot of evidence for it, and I think a lot's going to come out on that.
Joseph Krowski Jr., I mean, people from the outside listening to all of this going on, it's like, what's going on in Massachusetts? Why would a DA have a second phone? Why is he sending personal emails to judges? Does any of this make sense to you?
I think every district attorney would have a personal phone, right? They have a work phone that should be limited to work use and official use, and information on that is subject to a public records request. A FOIA request is what we call it in Massachusetts. And then you have your personal cell phone. Look, I think in hindsight, it was probably ill-advised to reach out to the judges, but I certainly don't think that he did it covertly and he thought that it would remain private because he sent it to several judges' emails. I think.
But he used a burner account and misspelled Karen Reed's name. I mean, dude. Like, we know he knows how to spell Karen Reed's name. We know he knows it. Like, stop it. I know, my man said ill-advised. This guy sucks so bad. Every time I see this guy talk, I'm like, what a fucking dick. This guy is just a fucking wad of smegma. That's all this guy is.
That the harassment that witnesses were subject to had just reached a cataclysmic point in that they were probably hounding him, that they needed protection. And so I think he was frustrated that not only were they getting protection from the courts, someone in the court was unlawfully leaking information. I think in hindsight, he probably should have CC'd Jackson and Yannetti, and it would have resolved this problem. But Brendan knows what he's required to turn over. In Massachusetts, it's defined by Rule 14. Any statements of witnesses that are going to be called at trial, he has to turn over. And I think I heard him at the hearing say he's going through all of the information to make sure, and he has a very liberal approach to what he's required to turn over. And if there's anything in there that's exculpatory, he's required to turn it over. So it looks like since he's come on the case, he started fresh at A, and he's going to go A through Z with discovery.
Gotcha. All right, everyone staying when we come back. We're getting ready. Right now, it's scheduled for January 2025, the Karen Reed retrial.
So ridiculous, dude. Dude, if I didn't laugh at this shit, I would go insane. Like, that's literally like the only day Blue Shirt showed up. And this is like memorialized here as if it's like a regular thing.
That was after the first trial. And we're getting ready for the second trial of Karen Reed, right now scheduled for the end of January, although both sides want to push it to the spring.
Yeah, it was after the first trial. It was after the first trial because she should have fucking been acquitted. Yeah, it was after the first trial because not only should she have been acquitted, she shouldn't have even been at the first fucking trial in the first place. It shouldn't have been a first trial. Shouldn't have been a trial. Jackson E. and Eddie's motions to dismiss and motions to disqualify Michael Morrissey were valid as fuck. And now we're seeing exactly why they were valid. Thanks to Michael Morrissey going after Turtle Boy. We are now seeing this. Now, we already saw it. We had many reasons to see it before. That, like, Bev denying those motions spoke volumes to me about her. Because, I mean, those things were valid then. The prosecution simply did not have a case. There was a mountain of exculpatory evidence. The fact that Michael Morrissey was under federal investigation should have been enough to dismiss that case. Should have been enough to disqualify. Bev denying that motion, specifically that motion, is a gross miscarriage of justice. She should have absolutely approved that motion. She should have dismissed the case against Karen Reed back then, before the first trial even started, and she should have disqualified Michael Morrissey pending this federal investigation. If that's how it works, I don't even know. But in lieu of the federal investigation, she should have disqualified Michael Morrissey. Especially if the feds were investigating based on that case, and they had 3,100 pages of discovery to share with the court, and then there's all this exculpatory evidence in the 3,100 pages of discovery in this TUI report. And then you have the fucking ARCA experts who go and testify, and the jury can't even know that the FBI hired them. And that was Bev's decision. Blocking that information, to me, that's vital information for a jury to know. That's vital. Why would Bev block that information from the jury? It makes no sense unless she's fucking dirty. Sorry, but I mean, she knows better. I know she knows better. And fuck that. I take my sorry back. Like, it's her responsibility. It's her court. She has the power to end this right now. She's had the power to end this, and with good reason to, long ago, before the first trial even started. She's responsible for wasting millions of taxpayer dollars. Judge Beverly Cannoni is she is directly responsible for wasting millions of taxpayer dollars.
We'll see what happens. Let's bring back in our guests. We've got with us Nick Rocco, Joseph Krowski Jr., and Kevin Lenahan. All right, I want to take a look at some of the changes for Karen Reed 2025. And it begins with this new prosecutor, Hank Brennan, appointed by the Norfolk County DA, Michael Morrissey, in September. 25 years of experience in state and federal courts, former defense attorney for Whitey Bulger. And did I say that right? Whitey Bulger? And Nancy Kerrigan's brother who murdered the father. All right, so Nick Rocco, is there any concern from the defense that, this guy's sharp?
I didn't know that. Nancy Kerrigan's brother murdered their father? I did not know that.
No, I mean, he might speak a little bit better than Adam Lally, but I mean, the facts are the facts and the evidence is the evidence. Nothing's going to change regardless of who talks about it from the prosecution side. But as you can see, Karen is also adding people to her team. You're going to see a lot more defense experts this time around. It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be a pony show like the last time. It was dragged out. I think we can all agree on that. It was dragged out by the prosecution. I'm hoping Hank doesn't drag it out that long. I don't think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to call certain people, and the defense will call their people. And I think it's going to be a bloodbath in the courtroom. I really do. I think it's going to be a battle.
Joseph, what do you think? Is Brennan sharp?
It is.
He's the sharpest.
It's going to be nothing but fucking jabs from Brennan. And it's going to be a whole lot of objections. There's going to be, I mean, Nick Rocco I'm in absolute agreement with Nick Rocco's prediction on this next trial. Because it shouldn't even be happening. So the defense is going to be fired up about that, period. That alone. And since Brennan doesn't have a case, Brennan is going to take cheap shots. Brennan's going to play dirty because he doesn't have a case. And Bev's going to hold his hand, and the defense is going to get pissed off. Lots of sidebar. Exactly, Juliet. Lots of sidebar.
I've known Hank for 26 years. We were both in the DA's office together in Essex County. We've handled many, many cases together. He's the best. There are lawyers that say they work 80 hours a week, and then there's Hank Brennan, who works probably 100 hours a week.
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't catch any of that, dude. It was really hard to understand you with Hank Brennan's dick in your mouth.
The defense is going to need another table for all the lawyers they keep hiring, but you've already seen dramatic changes. In the first trial, the Commonwealth, and I don't know why, didn't offer into evidence some of the most compelling evidence in all of the statements and interviews Karen Reed had given to the various media outlets. Attorney Brennan's already filed a motion to preclude the dog bite expert that the defendant was allowed to call that they just retained 2 weeks into the trial. The defense has now hired outside experts that have not been self-trained in the state police. And right now there's testing going on related to the motherboard that was taken from the Lexus. So this is a different prosecution. And no disrespect to Adam Wally. It was a really difficult task. But yes, this is a different case now.
All right, something else going to change is Trooper Proctor's status, right? He's in a much different place now after the trial than before. Placed on administrative leave following the mistrial due to admitted unprofessional behavior. Currently under internal investigation, removed from 2 other high-profile cases up there. So Kevin Lenahan, is Proctor now even more damaged goods? And is that a big problem for the prosecution since he is the lead investigator?
I love how Vinny just asked Plevin an absolutely rhetorical fucking question, because I mean, how in the fuck is the answer not this is a fucked witness? This witness is fucked. Like, they just listed the reasons why this witness is completely and totally unusable. The fact that this is even a thing, the fact that this is even moving forward after what was discovered in the first trial about this asshole right here. Everything about this guy and the fact that that even happened and this is going to another trial is mind-blowing. This is crazy. So the fact that Vinny's even asking that question is crazy. I got to play that one more time. I mean, look at that shit. Placed on administrative leave following mistrial due to admitted unprofessional behavior. On the case in question. Currently under internal investigation. Removed from Brian Walsh and Sandra Birchmore cases. Dude, what else do you need? That's the worst fucking witness ever. That's worse than an irrelevant witness. A witness that didn't see anything. That's worse. It's 100 times worse. This is a guy who fucking was the lead detective on this investigation, and all this shit is happening because of how he conducted himself during that investigation. That is the worst fucking witness in this case that you could possibly have. The fact that this is even a discussion is mind-blowing to me.
Removed from 2 other high-profile cases up there. So Kevin Lenahan, is Proctor now even more damaged goods? And is that a big problem for the prosecution since he is the lead investigator?
No, I think he's going to testify. He's going to say the same thing, that he had very insensitive texts and he regrets doing them, but that doesn't affect the investigation. And there is no evidence of any investigation that he's been involved in his 5 years on the detectives.
Again, see, to me, the text messages, as shitty as they are, and I've made this point before, but I'm going to make it again. As shitty as those text messages are, as unprofessional as those text messages are, that's not the worst thing, in my opinion, involving this investigation that Michael Proctor is guilty of. It's the way that he conducted this investigation. It's the way that he failed to interview witnesses. It's the way that he fucking sent texts to other cops. It's the bullshit involving the taillight. It's the fact that he didn't even really conduct an investigation in this case. On that alone, Karen Reed should walk. On that alone. So to me, those fucking text messages, as shitty as they are, yeah, I'm not trying to dismiss them. I am acknowledging them and how shitty they are. And having met Karen a couple of times, they pissed me off, frankly. But as far as the case goes, to me, they're a distraction. What truly matters is how this man mishandled chain of custody of evidence, to say the least. That's just a way to sum it up. Just the lack of investigation that took place by him, and the contrast from that to the way that he conducted the case into Brian Walsh. shows me that he knows what he's supposed to be doing. It tells me that he knows exactly what his job is. That's not negligence. That's corruption. The way that he handled investigating Brian Walsh versus how he handled investigating Karen Reed tells me that Karen Reed and that investigation was not a result of negligence. That was a result of corruption. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. So talking about these text messages is a fucking distraction, in my opinion. All it does is show his character. When there's all this other stuff that shows exactly why he conducted a faulty investigation, which is what matters here, which is what matters in court.
Bureau of any kind of fudging evidence or cover-ups or any kind of misdeeds. And there's none here in this case here. So I think, and just to comment on the change in prosecution, he does seem laser-focused and meticulous. And I think in the first trial, Adam Lally did a good job in debunking the conspiracy theory. However, did not do a good job of presenting the actual state's case in a way that was convincing how John's injuries occurred and so forth. And now I think the new prosecutor, Brennan, who was excellent, is going to be able to build on that. So they will continue to easily debunk this wild conspiracy theory, but now they're going to prove the state's charges.
All right, let's take a Nick, are there any other witnesses that
I'm not going to lie, I completely fucking tuned I completely tuned Fleming out. I'm going to replay it because I want to hear his bullshit. But I'm not going to lie. I completely and totally zoned the fuck out while he was talking. I have no idea what he just said. It happens to me all the time with him.
State's case in a way that was convincing the conspiracy. He does seem laser-focused and meticulous. And I think in the first trial, Adam Lally did a good job in debunking the conspiracy theory. However, did not do a good job of presenting the actual state's case in a way that was convincing how John's injuries occurred.
There's a good reason for that, Plevin. I'm going to let you in on a secret. He didn't do a good job of presenting the state's case because the state didn't have a case, Plevin. Okay? Okay.
And so forth. And now I think the new prosecutor, Brennan, who was excellent, is going to be able to build on that. So they will continue to easily debunk this wild conspiracy theory, but now they're going to prove the state's charges.
All right, let's take a Nick, are there any other witnesses that since the trial have had some issues?
I think we'll have to wait to see for the second trial there.
Sounds like you got something up your sleeve there, Nick. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get to one other thing that changed.
Nice try there, Vinny.
The new defense attorney, Robert Alessi, awaiting Judge Cano's approval. New York lawyer, expertise, direct cross-examination. It seems like he can deal with a lot of scientific and technical backgrounds. Nick, you said they're adding to the team. This looks like it could be an important piece when you start getting into some of the more technical and scientific stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
I fucking love this guy right
what role he's going to play yet, but he's also another bulldog that's added to the team. And I know Joe said, they're going to need a bigger table, but listen, if you need 100 to prove your innocence, up against a corrupt Commonwealth and DA, then you need 100. But it's like I said, I think it's going to be a very wild court case this time around.
Joseph, do you think this next trial is shorter, longer, same? And do you think it starts in January, or is this thing going to get pushed?
I think it's going to get pushed. It would be very rare with all that's at stake with both.
Excuse me, but do you think that Hank Brennan's dick in your mouth is any shorter, longer, the same? What?
Sides want the continuance, not to give them. I think it's a very modest request, 60 days, 90 days. I think it's a shorter trial. I think they probably don't chase the defense theory as much. Having said that, there's still a lot of witnesses. There's still a lot of technical information. So it's still not going to be a short trial, relatively speaking. But I'll still put my money on Brennan on this one.
Well, the other part is, and we talk a lot about the defense theory, is that the defense can have an altered theory as well in the retrial. Can't they, Joseph? I mean, if you have a defendant and you have a retrial, your strategy, your theory, your arguments to the jury can be different.
Sure, there's no judicial estoppel when you're talking about a defense. They don't have to put forward any defense. They can certainly infer it, argue it, but they're not required to prove anything. I think we've talked about the Commonwealth cleaning it up a little bit. I think that the defense would be wise to probably do a little bit less as it relates to the conspiracy theory, because it got to the point where it was just too unbelievable and implausible. And I think that the information that leaked out about the jury decision of 9-3 or 8-4, whatever it was, is kind of a rejection of the whole conspiracy theory. So I think they're going to clean things up too. They should.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for all your help during 2024. We may speak again this year. I'm not sure, but I want you to have a great Thanksgiving with your families and know that Court TV really appreciates your valuable time. Nick Rocco, Joseph Krowski Jr., Kevin.
Before Thanksgiving.
And thank you all so much. When we come back, I will reveal something else you need to know tonight, plus coming up next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates, Courtney Clenny got famous on Instagram, then got rich.
All right. Oh my God. Sorry, that was still playing in my ears. They were talking about how she fucking was a OnlyFans model and stabbed her boyfriend in the chest or some shit. Crazy. All right, y'all. Hold on. All right. Phone lines are open, y'all. Yeah, Nick Rocco killed it, man. Shit was great. Oh, wow, really? Oh, shit. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'll be shocked if Plevin's ever on Court TV again after that. Especially knowing that Vinny knows about it. Yeah, he's Plevin for life, bro. Yeah, dude, you should have seen me, dude, when I went on a cruise, dude. That Haiti sun, that shit fucked me up. There's pictures of me in a really nice suit, but like I'm just like red as fuck. Because they had like the formal night or whatever. Dude, nobody wants to call in? Really? Wow. Clubber is half and half. He's 50-50. He's half Pitbull and half Sharpay. Yeah, I don't either. I'm telling you, man, Clubber, somebody's like, I'm afraid of Pitts, but Clubber he doesn't have a strand of aggressive DNA in him.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Liz.
What's up, Liz?
Not much. What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I just figured I can't believe no one's calling in, and I was just chilling, practically ready to go to sleep. But I said, let me call. Now I got a question.
Oh, everybody's calling in. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I've been at my son, so I brought my grandkids and stuff, and I totally missed what happened to Peter Murphy. What happened to him? Did he get in some kind of trouble?
Yeah, apparently he got a trespassing charge for parking at the church or something like that by the courthouse or by the station when they were doing a standout. It was really petty. And like
so it had to do with the standout too. He was at a standout.
They didn't like arrest him where they put handcuffs on him or nothing like that, but they wrote him up, you know. So it's like a trespassing charge. It's really childish, but I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. because they're being pains in the ass. Okay, because I had seen a sign, free Peter Murphy. I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened to him? But, all right, I'm in South Carolina. I'm supposed to be a little warmer, okay? It's 22 degrees and we got snow. I'm right near Charleston. There's snow
Okay.
at the beach. I'm like, this isn't right. It's freezing here.
Yeah, it's not snowing here, but it's getting cold.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is cold.
It's global warming.
You're right. Yeah.
Hey, well, I call enough, so I'll let other people call in. But thanks for the information on Sergeant Murphy. I was very curious about that.
Yeah, I wish I had more specific details on that, but that's just all I heard.
No, well,
so
that explains it. Something petty is all.
Scott
just like
McGinnis
with-
is saying Peter Murphy was charged with trespassing for parking at the church next door to the Canton Police Department, which is what I said. Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah. So something
Okay.
petty. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott, and thank you, Will, and have a good weekend.
You
It's
too,
not even
Liz.
the weekend yet. All right. Thanks, hon. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Liz. Have a good
All
one.
right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's a sweetheart. That's Bob is a member for 10 months. Right on. Thanks, Bob. The feds were in Boston today. Anyone see why? Who knows? Feds could be there for any reason, man. It's Boston. Like, there's a whole network of crazy shit going on in Boston besides Karen Reed, I'm sure.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, 13 Kings. What's up, brother?
Who's this? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
13 Kings. 13 Kings.
13 Cave?
Hold on. Let me hold on 1 second.
Kevin from
Let me do
Illinois,
this.
thank you so much. Appreciate
All right,
it.
here we go. How about 13 Kings?
Oh, 13 Kings.
What's going
up,
on,
buddy?
No, same old, same old. Just actually, I'm working right now. You're entertaining me at work.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
You too.
You too. He says, yeah, you're working too, huh? No, I just actually wanted to call and just be honest with you. Just tell you how much I appreciate all you've done. You know what I mean? Like you said the other night, this is what you do now. It's all Karen Reed all the time, and we all appreciate that. I said it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no, I just appreciate that you guys enjoy it, because I mean it's what I'm thinking about most of the time anyway. So and
I'm
no,
the same way, yeah.
and I'm joking. This is not work. This doesn't count as
No,
work.
yeah. Hey, listen, you get paid, right?
I
get paid.
mean, yeah, but it's I love this too much to call it work. It's not.
Yeah, I hear
you.
Yeah. I wish I could say that about my work, but hey. But yeah, no, I just want to call and let you and tell you that. And I said early on when you first started doing shows, I said, man, this guy's a he's a I can't think of the word, like a complimentary, like a asshole. You're one of us now.
I get that a lot, man. I gotta tell you, that's probably my favorite compliment.
Yeah, it's a term of endearment. Definitely a term of endearment here in Boston.
Because Boston is like what I've always admired Bostonians. I've always loved how Bostonians take so much pride in being from Boston,
Right.
And so when Bostonians tell me you're officially a Bostonian to us, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's great.
Honestly, I thought maybe you had ties to Boston just from, you know what I mean?
No.
Like you knew a lot of the people of the cities and
No,
but I'll let you go. I got to get back to work, but I just wanted to call and tell you, hey, we all appreciate it, man.
Well,
all right, and it was nice to meet you. I met you once out in front of the courthouse. It was great.
Oh,
to meet
right
you.
on. Okay, cool, man. Thanks.
All right, brother. Nice talking to you.
13 Kings, be
Bye
good,
now.
buddy. Bye. Oh, that's a cool dude, man. That was cool. All right, here we go.
Call.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Chris. I was wondering if you can explain something to me.
Okay,
Um,
Chris, I'll try.
you know how they were saying that part where they were looking at the pictures upstairs, but they were really downstairs, but they could have been upstairs.
Okay.
What if they came out from under?
What do you mean?
From under my balls.
I
I love you, Will.
I love it.
I love you, honey.
love it. She
You-
got me. That was that was fucking
Remind me
great.
of my old
Hold
90s
on, I
prank
gotta
calls. Take care, baby. Love you. Bye-bye.
That was great. I love a good prank call. Nice and simple too. Nice and simple.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Clara. It's Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
How are you, love?
I'm doing good, love. How are you?
I'm sorry I missed you.
You
I
missed
haven't
me?
had time hearing you.
I'm right. I've been right here.
Oh, well, don't go anywhere then.
I ain't going nowhere for another 40 minutes.
So I just want to say hi, and I want to thank you for all you do. And I just wanted to let you know, this standout this weekend was amazing.
Eileen, welcome to the lady. Go ahead, Bonnie. Go ahead, Bonnie.
So the standout this weekend was amazing.
Right on.
We actually had Tom CPU show up. Tracy and Dana showed up in Middleborough. And then we had a final visit with Karen and her dad. Which
Yeah,
was amazing.
last time I was live, I went over that footage. It was really cool, man.
Yeah, I saw that. But what was interesting is as soon as Karen and her dad left, all of a sudden the Middleborough police showed up, and they have never showed up to our standout. And the boots on the ground, boots on the ground got the boot.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we think we had some trolls under our bridge on 495.
Well, you did, because someone spotted Carrie Lama and Jen McCabe there.
I saw that.
Right. So
and
you're
that
saying
was
the
right down
cops
the
showed up
street.
after that?
Yes. As
That's
soon as
interesting.
Karen and her dad left, the police showed up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And we have never had the police show up on that bridge.
Carrie Lama and Jen McCabe were spotted there, so that can't be a coincidence.
No, they were right down the street at the Taunton Green, and we were up further going towards the Cape. So I think they went around the Green first, and then noticed that Karen was at our location, and it was like literally 5 minutes later, a Middleborough police officer showed up. And what's the name? One of the guys that's at our standout, I can't think of his name, and I'm going blank, and I'm so sorry because he's amazing. The cop showed up and said, "You guys all need to go." Blah blah blah. He was a nice guy. He wasn't mean about it.
Okay.
And he said, "Well, we've been here since June." And he says, "Well, I've never." He goes, "I've never seen you before. We're there every Sunday from June till now, and you've never seen us." But ironically, Karen shows up with her dad.
Dude, and
Tracy
not
and
only
Dana are
like,
there.
dude, it's on a fucking overpass. How do you miss that? First of all, second of all, it happens all the time. And third of all, like, it's fucking streamed on the internet. Like, what do you mean that you don't know that this is happening? Fuck out of
So
here.
the only thing is that, so we have three reasons we're thinking. We had Dana and Tracy there from Resistance to Silence. and they were streaming live.
Right.
They streamed live in the morning, and then they streamed live when Karen and her dad showed up, which we've never had them show up, which was amazing. Tom PCU showed up. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen him before. Thank you. I watch him all the time, and his car showed up, and I'm like, I know that car.
Yeah, you're not gonna miss that car. It's literally the only. It's literally the only one of its kind that still runs. Literally,
Right?
like,
It's like
yeah,
Back to the Future.
you would never ever see that car anywhere ever. Like, if
Right.
you see that car, it's Tom.
Right, and it was amazing. We had such a great day. The weather was amazing. We had so many people coming by beeping and beeping and beeping. We had the majority of people with us that we haven't had for months. And it was just such an amazing day.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I saw that.
Yeah. And then I looked at one of the girls next to me and I go, Laura, Karen's dad just drove by. She's like, no, he didn't. I'm like, yes, he did. And she freaked out. And I'm like,
I mean,
I'm
how
serious.
cool
He's
is
going
that,
down to the
man?
road.
How cool is that they showed up there, man? Like, they're like just, right on the side of the road. It's wild, Like, don't tell me they're not grateful to their supporters, Shit, I don't know what happened to her. I'm hanging up. I'm gonna take the next caller when one comes through. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they kicked you out. I mean, you could say that it's kind of dangerous, but they're on a sidewalk. So what the fuck is the problem? You know what I mean? Right. Innocent people don't fucking hide. They don't lie under oath. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, dude, that's where I'm at. I'm at that point now where I'm just like, dude, if you know all the facts of the case and you think Karen Reese is guilty, you're a fucking retard. Like, I just don't even care anymore. Like, it's not a theory at this point. Karen Reese is fucking innocent. I can't believe nobody's calling. This is the worst call-in show I've ever had. Had good callers, though. Is somebody going to save it?
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Claire. It's Anne Marie.
Hi, Anne Marie.
Well, I watch your show all the time. First time getting through, though.
Nice. I'm glad you did. So far.
Thanks. No, you are glad. You are glad. I'm just trying to bring a point forward that I've made on other. I've actually wrote comments on other shows, but you addressed it today by bringing up the snow.
Today, Junior.
So, Julie Nagel, right?
Okay.
Julie Nagel. Not that she went
Julie
out there
Nagel.
twice. Or is it Julie Nagel or Julie Bagel? Which one is it?
Wow.
She went out there twice. She went out to meet her brother, right?
Okay.
When he came to pick her up,
Right.
she was right in front of the lawn, right? She was right there.
Right.
And then she went out again when she says she saw the blob.
When she
Wouldn't
drove,
have
when
seen
she
the
rode
blob
home.
the first time? Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't
would have
she have seen it the first time?
She would have absolutely seen it the first time. I mean, not really,
Yeah.
because Here's the thing: is
She
John
didn't see
O'Keefe?
anything. She didn't
She's
see anything.
well, she's a
Yeah,
fucking
she's full of it.
liar because John O'Keefe was inside the house
Exactly.
at the time. Period. There's no
Right.
other way.
Yeah.
Because there's no damage to
Right.
the back. According to her brother Ryan, there was no damage to the back of Karen's vehicle, and she was alone in the vehicle.
Right.
So he had to be
Right.
inside the house or laying in the grass. But if he was laying in the grass, then the taillight would have been broken, right?
No, he was not.
But he
There's
was not.
no
So
way
he had to have been
was-
in the house.
No. Yeah.
And she had to have known that
Exactly.
she had to have known that he was in the house.
Yep. And it was probably right around the time that it actually happened. Because why would you call your brother to pick you up and not go?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I think she's lying about staying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the reason why, and I think it has something to do with John.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. But I know she's
mine
lying.
as well.
I know she's lying.
Oh,
I mean, any idiot can see that.
they're all lying, Will. They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
lying. Yeah. 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 Crazy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That was it. I just had to voice that.
All right. Well, I'm glad you called. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for
All
having
right.
me.
Have a good one.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good night.
I keep missing the other callers. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly in a baseball bat. That was my shit, bro. I'm just kidding. No, it wasn't.
Call from
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
I've called before.
Okay.
I love your show.
Well, thanks, Sherry. I'm glad you love it.
But I'm going to tell you, I think the people that were in the house, all the little young kids, didn't know what was going on. But they've been made to lie from their out.
So you don't think that Julie Nagel knew what was going on in the house?
I don't think none of the young kids knew that John O'Keefe came in there and went to the basement. But they've been made to lie.
I don't know. I think that at least one or two of them must have seen him come in the house in the first place. Just considering how they describe the setup of the house.
But I do know that John O'Keefe wasn't laying on that lawn when everybody left because nobody seen him.
I completely agree.
And I love the new video that's out. I wanted somebody to go in those people's yard and lay out there because snow reflects.
He was put out there. I think he was put out there around 2 a.m.
Yes. Snow reflects everything. Everything is so much brighter. And I just got an inch of snow last night here in North Carolina. And all I could think about was how much brighter is it when it snows?
It's true. Yeah. It's funny because every time that it snows here now, I can't help but try to imagine seeing a 6'2", 200-pound man in that snow.
Laying in what?
Right.
Maybe 2 inches of snow at that time?
Right. Like there's no way I'd miss it.
Snow really came the next day.
Every single time I'm like, there's no way I'd miss that. There's just
It
no way I'd miss that.
infuriates me.
Right. Yeah. Same here. Same here. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, thank you for taking my call. And
All right.
I'm just infuriated over the whole situation.
Well,
There's
Sherry,
got to be
I appreciate you calling, Sherry.
there's got to be something for this young lady, Karen Reed, not
I
to
think-
get hung up on this hook.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way she's going to get convicted, but it's just a travesty that she's even being tried first time, much less a second time.
That and all the money that she's had to spend for nothing.
Right.
Just like Dr. Russell.
She needs us now more than ever. You know,
Dr. Russell was good enough for the first round, but we
this
gotta
is
figure
the
out
home
again if she's good enough for the second round.
This is the home stretch. This is where Karen and Aiden need us the most. You know, this is where they need our support the most.
I'm in North Carolina and you're in Tennessee, and we are Karen strong.
Yeah, absolutely. We are.
I hope to be up there before the end of all this. I really am going to try.
Right on. Free Karen Reed 2024. Thank you so much. Just checking in to say hi, as well as thanks for your time and dedication. Rock on. Right on. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was awesome. All right, Sherry.
Good night,
Thanks for
Clever,
calling so
and
much.
good night, Blair.
Good night, Clever. Sherry says good night, buddy. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too.
Call from
Piney Woods.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
It's Piney Woods.
Piney Woods Law and Crime. How good are you to call, Piney Woods?
Well, thank you. I've lost my voice. I got the crazy virus everybody around here is getting.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not corona, and
it's a bitch.
RSV or whatever.
No, I'm telling you, it's a bitch because I had it a couple weeks ago and I was laid up. Like it kicked my ass. No lie.
Yeah, this is pretty much kicking my butt as well. But I'm hoping it doesn't last as long.
Yeah, I mean, mine was, and I'm a healthy guy. I take pretty good care of myself. Besides the smoke of cigarettes, but I mean, dude, like I was laid up for like 5 days.
They're canceling court around here. A lot of my friends are going, oh my goodness, because judges and other lawyers are out and they can't hold stuff. And plus, it dipped below freezing, so everybody lost their mind in Shreveport, Louisiana, and said, oh, the sky's falling. So they didn't even have school. There wasn't snow on the ground here. They didn't even have school yet. They're just like,
That's so crazy, man. Like it had to be. I remember when I was a kid in St. Louis, there had to be.
Oh, you had to have a tornado in your neighborhood.
I'm saying there had to be like an insane amount of snow for that. Like you would look out the window and half your window was covered up, and you're like still listening to the radio. Like, are they gonna call school? Like, are they gonna call it? What's happening? And then they would say, fucking, St. Louis County. And then you'd be like, what? Yes.
It'd be on a crawl at the bottom.
And then you'd run outside and play in that shit.
That's
the
right.
Same thing in West Virginia. When I was living in West Virginia, it was the same thing. We'd be listening to the radio. I mean, I'm talking, and there's nothing but hills, dude. And we were just listening to Kanawha County. Come on, Kanawha County. Come on. Every time. Eileen, thank you so much. What do I think the chances that the Supreme Judicial Court will throw out those two charges? I think they're pretty good. But I'm not going to hold my breath. But I think they're pretty good.
I think it's more likely for them to take the low-hanging fruit, which is
she
didn't even poll the jury. So have the hearing and poll the jury and ask what their result was. I mean,
it's not that hard. Like the fact that she was
done it in other courts. I mean,
that's another example of why Judge Bev is a fucking piece of shit, dude. I don't give a shit what anybody says anymore. Like that is right there. The fact that she refused to poll that jury, that is a hell of a thing for that jury to come forward. It's unprecedented. It's never happened that I can recall.
Well, and I can recall several, not a lot, but several instances in the cases that I've used in my cases where they brought them back. So I don't understand. There's even a case in Massachusetts where they brought them back.
So it has happened before, and they did bring back the jury.
It has happened before. It was a different circumstance, but it was a jury question, so they brought the jury back.
Right.
And
like that's the thing, Piney Woods, is Judge Bev failed to. I believe we've had this conversation before, you and I. where Judge
Maybe. About the appellate record?
well, no, I mean Judge Bev failed. It's her responsibility to instruct the jury that there are 3 separate charges.
And what I would have expected in a Texas or a Louisiana court would be for the court to call the counsel up to the bench, have a sidebar, and say, "This is what they're saying. What do you propose we do?" or something. But she did it like in 3 seconds. She just said, "You're dismissed."
Right.
And it's a mistrial.
Yeah, like she was planning on calling that mistrial. It sounded like she was waiting to do it all day, the way she delivered that mistrial. It's crazy.
But she always is saying how tired she is, and you hear her, and she's like, obviously, a horse going back to the barn wants to get home. And it
Mr.
drives
Jackson.
Yes, drives me nuts.
Mr. Jackson.
And they better come down.
Humanity.
They better come down with the Supreme Judicial District ought to come down with a ruling here directly. I mean, their term ended a while back, a couple of months ago. So I don't know why their decision isn't down.
Thank you, Sue. Appreciate it. No, I agree with you, Piney Woods. I absolutely agree with you. I am going to wrap this up, though. You got one more? You got another question?
I just want to tell you one more thing. It's an aside. It's a tangent, as I want to do. But I think I'm going to come up for the trial.
Okay, right on.
And so, yeah, and just be an educated observer. See what goes on.
Right on. Yeah, no, that'd be great.
I've been looking for an Airbnb up there, so hopefully it'll happen.
They're there. So, right on. Yeah, no, I hope you make it. That'd be great.
Oh, it's going to be good. I just hope it doesn't happen. I mean, I hope the Supreme people come down and say, we're going to poll the jury. Let's put a halt to this.
I hope so, too. I hope so, too.
It may or may not happen, hon. Well, listen, let me let you wrap up. I was just fixing to go to sleep. They gave me all this medicine that makes me a little woo-hoo, you know. So I'm gonna sign off too.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, Piney Woods. Always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, folks. That's gonna be it for me, guys. I'm freezing, and Clever's got to go out. So it is that time. We are past the 3-hour mark. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I always love hanging out with you guys. I'm gonna try to hang out with you guys again tomorrow night if I can. I'll try to. I'll do everything I can to do that. But yeah, it's really awesome to see you guys as always and kick it with you guys. And
oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Free Karen Reed 2024 says, have you looked at the Katie McLean case? Many of the same characters in the Massachusetts State Police. It's interesting to compare the investigation to Karen Reed's. Bev was the judge, but she was removed. Katie McLean. I'll have to remember that. Katie McLean. I know I'll forget, but Katie McLean. I would like to check that out. All right. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all you guys. Please make sure to hit the like if you have not already. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Double check to make sure that you're still subscribed, because I think YouTube goes through these weird things or they unsubscribe from people. Double check, make sure you're subscribed. Just because I pop up on your feed, it's just because your algorithm knows that I show up. But double check, make sure you subscribe, please. And if you're new subscribers, thank you for subscribing, and I hope that you enjoy the channel. And thank you guys for all of the support. You guys are incredibly generous, so kind. I can't express enough how much I appreciate it. And thank you guys for showing Turtle Boy some support, because I have his defense fund link pinned to the top of the chat. I also have Karen Reed's defense fund link in the description. So please, if you're feeling generous, show them some support because they need our help more than ever these days because they are about to get into the ring and this fight is happening and they need us more than ever right now. They need our support more than ever right now. So guys are absolutely amazing, and I'm really, really grateful for all of you guys, and I really, truly hope to see all of you again because I love you, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.